Reading this, we cannot allow all of these people to invade our country. When somebody comes in, we must immediately, with no judges or court cases, bring them back from where they came.
Fox's Doug Luzader. President Trump will go to South Carolina today to rally for Republican Governor Henry McMaster on the eve of a primary. McMaster is being challenged by a businessman making his first run for office who's also a Trump supporter. South Carolina, one of 7 states holding primaries tomorrow. Roseanne Barr gets emotional over the fallout from her tweet condemned as racist, critical of former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett.
I horribly regret it. Are you kidding? I've lost everything. And I regretted it before I lost everything.
She told the Rabbi Shmuley Boteach podcast she would never have wittingly called a black person a monkey. ABC canceled her TV show, but it's being brought back, renamed The Connors, without her. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Skies this morning are clear to partly cloudy. We have 63 degrees on this Monday morning at 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 men are in custody following a high-speed police chase and crash on the Eisenhower Expressway. Authorities say the officers were chasing a stolen vehicle early this morning along I-290 when it slammed into another car and an IDOT truck near Racine. That chase began in Palatine, then drifted west to Oak Brook and Hinsdale before heading back into the city on the Ike. No injuries reported. 2 men in the stolen car were arrested. The inbound lanes were closed for quite some time while crews cleared the scene. 2 are dead following an apparent murder-suicide in the parking lot of a P.F. Chang's restaurant in Orland Park. Police say the man shot and killed a woman yesterday outside of that restaurant along LaGrange Road before turning the gun on himself. The woman was found shot in the passenger seat of an SUV, and the man was found shot on the ground outside that vehicle. Authorities say the victims were not married. An off-duty Chicago police officer is facing a charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. It follows an incident outside of a Rosemont bar. Authorities say William Zeppi was trying to help bouncers escort people out of the Park Tavern after a fight broke out yesterday. While outside, Zeppi got into an argument with people and pulled out a pistol. Another customer immediately disarmed him, and Zeppi was arrested. Bail set at $100,000 for a suburban man accused of beating a dog over the weekend in the Inglewood neighborhood. Prosecutors say a city-issued camera captured Isaac Goodlow punching and kicking the canine Saturday near 61st and Ashland. The Arlington Heights man was arrested and charged with aggravated animal cruelty. A vet determined the dog had signs of prior abuse and some torture. Another new crop of police officers are hitting the streets in Chicago. Mayor Emanuel announcing yesterday just over 100 new officers are being deployed across the city. Chicago leaders are moving forward with plans to build more affordable housing in the city. Mayor Emanuel's office says the city will invest about $5 million taxpayer dollars to encourage the construction of affordable housing on vacant lots on the south and west sides. At least 2 of Chicago's bike rental companies say they may leave the city if Chicago goes ahead with rules requiring bike locks. Officials with Lime Bike and OFA say an ordinance in Chicago requires a bike lock or a bike rack for their bikes. That would be too much. The bikes have wheels that lock, but city leaders say the dockless bikes are parked all over the place. In the middle of the sidewalks are a mess and a nuisance and maybe a safety hazard. One of the Republicans who helped craft Illinois' new state budget says lawmakers took a break from what has become normal the last 2 years. State Rep Tom Demmer telling reporters over the weekend the new state budget represents more than just a spending plan. He believes it represents a return to how things are supposed to work at the state capitol. The FAA will be in western Illinois this week looking for answers about a small plane crash that killed 2. The plane went down yesterday morning around 11 a.m. in a field in Warren County. Warren County's coroner say 2 on board, both perished at the site of the crash. Investigators right now are not offering any guesses as to why that plane went down. A father and his 2 teenage kids were rescued Sunday morning after their kayaks overturned on the fast-moving DuPage River, and they became stranded. About 10:15, the father called 911. Officials then pinged his cell phone to locate him, and Naperville Water Rescue went to work. Naperville Fire says heavy rainfall had caused a significant current in the area, and the father and two children were near the middle of the river. A few hours later, about 1 p.m., another 911 call came in from a person who spotted the two teens yelling for help, holding on to an overturned raft near 95th Street and Knock Knolls Road. Meantime, the search is over for a 5-year-old Quad Cities girl who drowned last week. Rescue crews say a passerby spotted the girl's body Saturday in the Mississippi River near Andalusia. Macy Chavez's mother says the girl slipped beneath the water on the Rock River last Sunday while canoeing with the family. Joey Votto doubled in the go-ahead run in a 7-run 7th inning. Reds rallied past the Cubs 8-6 and swept that 4-game series in Cincinnati. Yoan Moncada slammed a home run, drove in 6. White Sox handled the A's 10-3 at guaranteed rate and split that 4-game series with Oakland. Fire and Sounders played to a 1-1 tie on Saturday. Sky and their 6-game losing skid with a win over the Mercury. The news service of Unbound. There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer, an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at unbound.org. 5:07. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's become a summer tradition. Rockin' for the Troops returns this summer on July 14th at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva, home of the Kane County Cougars. Don't miss this year's lineup featuring Seventh Heaven, Ayla Brown, Rocky Lynn, The Voices, and Ryan Weaver. Proceeds will benefit Operation Support Our Troops America. Get your tickets today at rockinforthetroops.org. That's rockinforthetroops.org.
Hey, honey, did you hear all the buzz about those smart pills for your brain that are being used to enhance focus, memory, and creativity? It would be so amazing to have that kind of mental advantage at work. I'd love to find out which smart pill is the best and where we can get it.
Yeah, the world is so competitive. We could all use an advantage. Hey, why don't we just ask Siri? Siri knows everything. Siri will know. Okay, hey Siri, what is the best smart pill on the market today?
Searching the web. Here's what I found for the best smart pill on the market. Limitless is customer rated at the top. Take Limitless and within 30 minutes, you will experience a big boost in memory, concentration, and creativity. You don't need a prescription, and the results are guaranteed. Call Limitless now for a special free bottle offer.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-1653. That's 800-605-1653. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now, 800-605-1653, 800-605-1653.
Hi, I'm Jim Vanham with Strategic Financial Group. With the new tax law, charitable gifting will be more complicated than ever before. We're your experts in charitable gifting, and we can help you stretch your donations to worthy causes like Giant Steps. Now, with more, here's my friend Dr. Sylvia Smith.
Thanks, Jim. Giant Steps takes pride in providing a holistic and innovative approach to programming for individuals with autism. As students turn 22, government support stops and the options for programs become limited. This is why our Canopy Adult Day program needs your support to continue our mission of preparing adults with autism for a fulfilled and productive life. To donate, visit mygiantsteps.org. Again, that's mygiantsteps.org.
Thank you, Dr. Smith, for creating such a nurturing environment for young adults with autism. To find out how to stretch your contributions, please go to stgfin.com. That's stgfin.com.
5:10 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Time to call on Jim Talamonte this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. 53 northbound, just past Beesterfield Road. Got a crash just reported, so a little caution in that area. No word yet on lane closures. Now, the Eisenhower's all clear near Racine in the downtown area after the overnight activity there, Mike told us about. No problems at the moment on the Edens or the Kennedy. Stevenson looks good. Same goes for Ryan. I-57, Bishop-Ford. There's still some work on the tri-state this morning, scheduled till 6 or 7, depending on where you're at. Some work scheduled till 7 up north to the Lake Forest Oasis. No delays right now. There is some road work in Kenosha now, affecting ramps at 94 and Highway E. South Shoreline trains will not be running between Carroll Ave, Michigan City, and the South Bend Airport this week. Some overhead wire work. There's some shuttles, but there's no service at Hudson Lake. Traffic service, Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion, the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty and become a Compassion sponsor. Choose your child now at compassion.com/radio and do your part. Release a child from poverty today. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, partly sunny and nice today, high 78. Cloudy, heavy thunderstorms could rock the area overnight, low 65. Some strong storms expected tomorrow. Some of those storms could bring flooding and damaging winds, a high of 79. Currently, we have 61. Next news at 5:30 and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Saturdays at noon on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. No red hen for you. Sarah Huckabee Sanders and the Shame Mob in Lexington, Virginia over the weekend. Take your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Is this a case where politics has been taken too far, or are you on the side of private property rights and the business owner? You don't have to serve who you don't want to serve, at least with respect to their ideological viewpoint.
Really? I mean, so she can't file a lawsuit against them for them kicking her out?
Private property, she's not a protected class. It wasn't based on her race or gender, or it was based on
where she
her
works.
political ideology, her job. That's right. Stephanie Wilkinson, who, by the way, BA from Dartmouth. So you knew there was going to be trouble.
Oh, okay, right.
Stephanie Wilkinson's the owner of Red Hen. She told the Washington Post, "I'm not a huge fan of confrontation. I have a business and I want the business to thrive. However, this feels like a moment in our democracy when people have to make uncomfortable actions and decisions to uphold their morals." She called the Trump White House inhumane and unethical, and so that's why she asked Sarah Huckabee Sanders and her party of 7 to exit stage left from Red Hen when she sat down and took a plebiscite, held a plebiscite of her employees who agreed with her that Sarah Sanders and company must go.
And yeah, you're right. It was on a Friday night. And Sarah Sanders responded, "Last night I was told by the owner of Red Hen in Lexington, Virginia to leave because I work for President. And I politely left. Her actions say far more about her than about me. I always do my best to treat people, including those I disagree with, respectfully, and will continue to do so." And, of course, the laugh, like CNN this morning, was almost celebrating her getting kicked out of this restaurant because they took to task this. I do my best to treat people, including those I disagree with, respectfully, because they say that she doesn't treat the press corps respectfully.
Has she kicked anybody out of the White House press room? I don't think so.
No, she hasn't.
That's political battle. That's a very different thing than what we're talking about here in a restaurant. Well, of course it's being celebrated. I don't know. This is like striking a blow for the resistance. That's how they view it.
Well, Kristen Nielsen, she just got kicked out. Well, she didn't get kicked out, but she was in
got
that
booed out last week.
that nice high-end Mexican restaurant, and the owner didn't kick her out, but protesters made it so uncomfortable for her to stay that she had to leave.
And Pam Bondi,
what happened to her?
She's the Attorney General of Virginia. She went to see the Mr. Rogers documentary at a local movie theater where she lives in Florida. And, by the way, which I highly recommend.
Yes, the movie. And moving to Florida. But
yeah, exactly. It's true. Go if you want
to see this.
The best place to see. Do you want to be my neighbor? Florida.
Okay.
Here's Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of Florida, Trump supporter, getting shamed out of the theater.
Pre-existing conditions, Pam Bondi. Shame on you! Shame on you!
Shame!
Die.
Yep. So they pulled the Fred Rogers card.
Oh my gosh, that is so
And
awful.
if you watch the video, what you see is she's being escorted out by a phalanx of police officers, and then you have a couple of moviegoers following them and shouting at her, as you heard. What do you think of that?
312-642-5600. Is this the new normal? I mean, if you don't agree with somebody politically, you're just going to shame them out of a restaurant, shame them out of a movie theater. What's next?
Bob in Jefferson Park.
Yeah. Good morning. So I have a question. If the wedding cake makers, the whole case that went to the Supreme Court, if they had instead just asked them if they were a Democrat, could they have stopped making the wedding cake for that reason?
Yes.
Versus the
Yes, they could have. I'm serious.
Oh, how funny. This is going to evolve great. I'm going to love it.
Thanks for the call, Bob. No, I mean, again, remember, being a Republican or Democrat is not a protected class under the law, the way that discriminating based on race or gender or sexual orientation in most jurisdictions, it's not the same thing. So you can, you have the right to refuse service within a narrow realm in 2018 America, and this would be part of that narrow realm.
Well, social media has, on their Yelp review for the Red Hen, has pretty much been destroyed, which is fine. That's, everyone could weigh in. I love Sarah Huckabee Sanders' dad, though. He wrote bigotry on the menu at Red Hen Restaurant, or you can ask for the hate plate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I like the kind of, I know what Mike Huckabee is doing, using the left's rhetoric against them to kind of expose their hypocrisy. I get it. But, hey, you don't want to serve, I mean, and Sarah Sanders, to her credit, fine, that's fine, we'll leave.
Yeah.
There's no scene. You don't want to serve me because I'm a conservative? Fine.
But 7 people, that's a lot of money that walked out the door.
Well,
and they're big tippers.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is what I don't, people just kind of don't think this thing through. They just have an emotional reaction. Mm-hmm. Milton Friedman, right? He famously had this exchange. He's had multiple exchanges on this general topic. But one is, do you understand, with these laws, you're protecting the discriminator against the non-discriminator? In other words, right, if somebody wants to sell only shoes to liberals or only wants to sell shoes to black people, let's say that.
Okay.
And you're going to say, well, that's discriminatory, that's bigotry. You shall, you're a public place of accommodation, restaurant, retail stuff, you shall sell to all. Well, you're protecting that ignorant business owner against the non-ignorant business owner who is in business to make money and sell shoes to whoever comes in the door. Why would you want to protect them? I want to impose a cost for ignorant discrimination. And those who want to always impose rules protect the very ignorance they seek to root out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, nobody else does.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Well, I know you do. Nobody else does.
Oh, yeah, nobody.
Just you and me.
Just nobody.
And Milton Friedman, and he's passed.
Oh, too soon.
And probably Mike Scott,
Okay.
he gets it. Chris in Aurora, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, Dan, I know for sure that I've said this to you a year ago, and I believe I said it to you the last time 4 months ago, and I'm going to say it again today. We are headed toward a civil war. And if we could go somehow on a time machine and go back to the beginning of our first civil war, it started on little things like this. where there were skirmishes like this, where people would kick people out of places because they didn't agree. And here we are now, and I'm telling you, this is just the beginning, and we're going to look back to these days when we're finally entrenched, literally entrenched, fighting this out.
Thanks for the call, Chris. Well, I mean, is this the beginning of a civil war? And is that necessarily a bad thing? We'll pick it up.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And coming up later, I found out why I have a bad Uber rating. So exciting. No, Dan. It's the real reason. I got to the bottom of it. But first, here's your forecast. Today, partly sunny, nice. Just a beautiful sunrise we just had. A high of 78 degrees. Tonight, a heavy thunderstorm around late, a low of 65. And tomorrow, we're going to have thunderstorms, some strong, that could bring some flooding and damaging winds, a high of 80 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Good morning, Jim Telemonte.
Good Monday morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. 53 northbound, just past Biesterfield. We have a crash. It's on the northbound side. 2 right lanes are blocking in just north of Biesterfield Road. Traffic's not too heavy in that area right now. Edens is fine. Kennedy looks good, too. Reversibles are open inbound. Eisenhower okay at the moment. Same goes for the Stevenson and the Ryan. No delays to report yet on I-57. Traffic getting a little congested. Inbound Bishop Ford approaching the merge. Some road work on the Tri-State. No delays, though. The other tollways are fine. No issues at the moment on I-80 or in Northwest Indiana. I'm Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Protecting data across modern decentralized networks presents challenges that traditional backup solutions can't handle. At best, you'll waste time and money managing multiple solutions. At worst, gaps in coverage will leave your data vulnerable. Barracuda Backup is a single cloud-integrated solution that simplifies the backup process and allows data replication to anywhere on your network, a private cloud, Barracuda's cloud, or to the AWS public cloud. Reclaim your data. Try Barracuda Backup free at barracuda.com/backup.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
If you own a business, you'll do everything you can to keep the lights on. The thing is, keeping those lights on can be much more cost-effective than you ever imagined. And Twin Supplies can help. Twin Supplies specializes in helping businesses, public entities, and nonprofits get energy efficient with their lighting and take advantage of incentives from utility companies to help with energy improvement costs. From restaurants to schools, churches, and stadiums, they'll walk you through every step to realize maximum money savings and energy efficiency. Your maintenance staff will spend less time changing bulbs with worry-free fixtures that feature up to a 10-year warranty. Plus, the quality of your lighting will improve, resulting in improved working conditions and safety. Find out how much your commercial business can save with a free energy audit from Twin Supplies. Utility companies change their incentives frequently and funds can run out. Now is the time to take action. Don't wait. Call 630-590-5138 or log on to twinsupplies.net and take charge of your business's energy efficiency. twinsupplies.net.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. It's the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you happy with what's looking back at you in the mirror? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we'd like to help you with that smile.
Whether you're looking to fix 1 or 2 teeth or a whole smile makeover, we can take care of all your dental needs. We have a beautiful modern facility and a great staff. And most importantly, we love what we do. That's what sets us apart from other offices. Let's face it, a dental office is not everyone's favorite place. Whether you're 2 or 102, we make it fun and enjoyable. We perform all types of dentistry as well. Fillings, root canals, crowns, extractions, dentures, implants. We do most everything right in our office. And for you denture wearers, we have a full in-house denture lab and can perform repairs and relines while you wait. We can also talk about adding implants so your denture will snap into place or become screw retained. This is the closest option to natural teeth. We are conveniently located in Gurnee at the corner of Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. So make today the day you give us a call. 847-244-4000. That's 847-244-4000. Or visit us on the web at gurneedds.com. We look forward to seeing you, and remember, second opinions are always free. Excellence in dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We were talking about the Sarah Sanders incident over the weekend at the Red Hen in Lexington, Virginia, where she was kicked out for being conservative. And the question we're kind of batting around is, should conservatives picket the Red Hen and other restaurants owned by Dartmouth English lit majors, or just patronize conservative eateries?
I mean, Lexington's a 3-hour drive from the Capitol, and
I took a family out for a little country drive and wound up at this farm-to-table restaurant. Maxine Waters, No Justice, No Peace, Maxine.
she's celebrating this too.
Oh, yeah. Now she's no peace, no sleep, Maxine.
Oh,
she's
no.
calling on the hordes to continue the treatment of Trump administration officials that has been visited upon Sarah Sanders and Kristen Nielsen.
You have members of your cabinet that are being booed out of restaurants, who have protesters taking up at their house, who saying no peace, no sleep. No peace, no sleep. And guess what? We're going to win this battle, because while you try and quote the Bible, Jeff Sessions and others, you really don't know the Bible. God is on our side.
All right, so Maxine Waters, No Justice, No Peace, Maxine, this Dartmouth English lit major, they're on a mission from God. Robert in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, real quick to your point, can you imagine if me, a white person, walked into a San Francisco restaurant or wherever she lives, and I tried to shout her out? I guarantee I'd be arrested.
Yeah, I guarantee you're right. Thanks for the call, Robert. Frank in St. Charles.
Yeah, good morning. It's probably like what the other guys said. If Maxine Waters was kicked out for her vicious attacks on Trump, she'd be screaming racism, even though it had nothing to do with race. That's their knee-jerk reaction.
Well, that's right. Let me ask you this, Frank. I mean, you know, one of the things that that this may provide some impetus for is looking at who you support with your hard-earned dollar. The idea of I try to do this. Look for the conservative proprietors of various goods and services that I purchase. I want to support those that are ideologically aligned as best I can. And so if the left wants to do that, however offensively, is that a problem?
Well, no, it isn't. But I do you think Sarah Huckabee has a right to sue them based on her creed is a protected class, and her creed is her beliefs? She was kicked out for her beliefs. I think she ought to sue him, but I know she won't.
Yeah.
That's what
thanks
I
for the call,
suggested
Frank.
earlier, but you told me.
Well, she wasn't kicked out because she's a Christian. She was kicked out because she's a member of the Trump administration. So that's not exactly a protected belief system for the purposes of litigation. But we'll continue kicking this around. I mean, in the next 10 minutes, I'm sure somebody's going to be refused, some conservative, some Trump administration official. Probably Jeff Sessions is not going to be allowed at the breakfast counter.
Exactly.
So we'll have that story as soon as it happens.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Where are the kids? When will they be reunited? President Trump has some comments on that topic, as does Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mike McCall. We'll have it at 5:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We have sunrise in Chicago and 61 degrees. President Trump is calling for rapid deportations of people who cross the U.S. southern border illegally. The president saying that when someone comes into the country, we must immediately, with no judges or court cases, bring them back from where they came. He called the U.S. immigration system a mockery to good immigration policy. Adult film performer Stormy Daniels' interview with federal prosecutors is being canceled. Daniels' attorney Michael Aventi says prosecutors scrapped that meeting after the media learned of it. She said she was due to be interviewed by investigators looking into President Trump's lawyer Michael Cohen. In another sign of détente, following the summit between Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump, North Korea will skip its most symbolic and politically charged event on its calendar, the annual anti-U.S. imperialism rally marking the beginning of the Korean War. Oil prices are down after OPEC announced it will raise output in the second half of the year. Hundreds of buildings are threatened in Northern California from a wildfire burning out of control. The Pawnee fire has burned at least 7,700 acres in Lake County, about 70 miles northwest of Sacramento. Thousands of fish are dead after bourbon and brandy from a distillery warehouse collapse in Kentucky leaked into nearby streams. Kentucky's Department of Environmental Protection says not all the 9,000 barrels that rolled out of that warehouse leaked, but many did. 2 men are in custody this morning following a high-speed police chase and crash on the Eisenhower Expressway on Chicago's west side. 2 are dead following an apparent murder-suicide in the parking lot of a P.F. Chang's restaurant in Orland Park. The FAA in western Illinois this week looking for answers about a small plane crash that killed 2 in Warren County. Chicago sports, Reds rally past the Cubs 8-6. White Sox handled the A's 10-3. And in World Cup action this morning, sort of to keep a theme, hundreds of Iranian fans spent overnight hours surrounding the hotel where Portugal's national team is based, making loud noises in an attempt to disrupt their opponent's sleep before their decisive World Cup match later today. Iran can only advance to the next stage of the World Cup if it beats the European champions, Portugal. Portugal only needs a draw to advance. At 5:33, the news is a service of Compassion International. You can't change the whole world, but you can be part of the change in the world for a child living in poverty by becoming a Compassion International child sponsor. You can choose a child to sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. That's compassion.com/radio. 5:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes Trump just got reelected.
On behalf of Chairman Kim and myself, we're both very honored to sign the document. Thank you.
President just got reelected. The President of the United States just took a huge step towards guaranteeing his 2020 reelection with this historic, epic, unprecedented, unheard of summit.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
I love my family, but last week, not so much. They blew through our shared data again. Then we switched to Boost and got unlimited gigs, plus 20 gigs of mobile hotspot on each line for the whole family. For a great price. So now I love them all again. We just needed a switch.
Switch to Boost and get 3 lines with unlimited gigs for just $100 a month and 20 gigs of mobile hotspot on each line. Plus, get up to 3 free phones, all on a super reliable, super fast nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Offer ends 8/31/18. First line's $100 a month. Lines 2 and 3 are $0 a month. Requires 1 line to port in. Line includes unlimited talk, text, and data. Video streams optimized at up to 480p+. Music at up to 500 kilobits per second. Gaming at up to 2 megabits per second. Data deprioritization during congestion. Free phones require port in and activation on plans $50 or higher. Coverage and offers not available everywhere. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
5:35. So get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Lakeshore Drive northbound at the Oak Street curve had a crash. 2 right lanes are blocked there. Edens is fine. The Kennedy as well. Inbound Eisenhower traffic slow. First Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue. 30 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 5 at 29. On Stevenson, a slow pocket starting around Harlem, 38 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 18 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Tollways are looking good at this hour. Traffic, serviceofonbound.org. A more peaceful, healthy world happens one person at a time. Around the globe, there are children who dream of helping their families, who hope for the future, and who have a name. Know the person you're helping directly at unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly sunny. Nice day ahead, high 78. Cloudy with a heavy thunderstorm around late in the overnight, low 65. Tomorrow, thunderstorms developing. Some of those could bring some heavy rains and damaging winds and a high of 79. Currently 61. Next news coming up at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. We will talk about anything but immigration when freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're talking about Sarah Sanders getting booted from the Red Hen. Conservatives are not welcome. And text from 773, all conservatives should go into that restaurant, order a cup of tea, sit for over an hour, and not tip. After a week, all the waitstaff will leave and the place will go bankrupt. Is that what we should do? Subversive guerrilla strategy of that sort? Or should we just patronize eateries owned by conservatives, welcoming people? Is this refusal of service, this public shaming, chasing Nielsen out of a restaurant, refusing service to Sanders, chasing Pam Bondi, Attorney General of Florida, out of a movie theater, Seth Rogen refusing to take a picture with Paul Ryan's kids?
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah. Is that
this the new normal?
Well, and is this the beginning of armed conflict in the streets of an ideological nature, not the normal armed conflict on the streets you see in Chicago?
And real quick, have you ever eaten at a farm-to-table restaurant?
Sure, I have. I'm a sophisticate.
Well, okay. Well, is it fresher? Like, what's the draw? Did you like it?
You get to know. I mean, did you
the
ever see
chicken before you kill it?
Yeah, you go out to visit the chicken. Say you get to learn kind of all about its upbringing.
Yeah, you meet the mom and dad, and then you kill the chicken, so it's from farm to table.
It's a holistic experience. I mean, you don't experience the same Weltanschauung at a normal restaurant. You don't get that at Chick-fil-A. You get that at the Red Hen.
It's fine dining.
And plus, you have to have at a minimum of a BA from an Ivy League school to go to a farm-to-table restaurant. Dan and Addison, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi. I saw that article on Drudge, so I linked to it. I read the story. And I don't know, somewhere they had a picture of the sign on this restaurant. It's sort of like in the medieval days.
Yeah, the hammer and sickle.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, on the Red Hen, it was a cutout of a chicken painted red, and in the middle of it, they had a gold hammer and sickle.
Right.
And I just thought, there you go. I mean, my God. These leftists, they don't reflect that communism or leftism has been a total failure. We now have 100-year history of that, you cannot point to one single country that has ever been successful under leftism.
Well, not yet, Dan. I mean, the point is it's just the wrong people have been in charge. But they're going to get it right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. They're going to get it right, all the Ivy League BAs, like Miss Wilkinson, the owner of the Red Hen. Yeah, I mean, again, the irony, by the way, of celebrating communism while practicing capitalism is lost on her, even though she's a Dartmouth grad.
Yeah, well, this Dartmouth grad gave an interview to the Washington Post. Did you read it? Her phone rang at 8 p.m. It was the chef at the Red Hen, the tiny farm-to-table restaurant that she co-owned.
I assume, by the way, the farm is an agrarian co-op consistent with communist
Well, the chef
orthodoxy.
called her and said, quote, The staff is a little concerned. What should we do? Sarah Sanders is here. The reservation was made in her husband's name. And she said she'd be down there right away to see if it's true.
She was initially concerned they weren't going to have enough food.
Oh,
and then
you stop. That's not true. And then she said, because the population of Lexington is 7,000, and the majority had voted against President Trump. Oh,
Tony,
so she knew she had to jump into action, get in her car, and go to the restaurant.
Tony on the South Side.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. You know what? Every time I hear talk of civil war, I'm amused by it. If it ever came down to the armed conflict, I'll tell you what side's going to win. The side that's going to win is going to be the constitutional-loving Second Amendment people. That's how quick that war is going to be over. So bring it on the left. If they really want a civil war and they want armed conflict in the streets, I'd be down for that. Sure, why not?
All right, Tony on the South Side's in. Thanks for the call.
Listen to this, too. She knew the community was deeply divided over such issues as the Confederate flag. She knew, she said, that her restaurant and its half dozen servers and cooks had managed to stay in business for 10 years by keeping politics off the menu. But then she goes and does this and cites the Confederate flag.
These are different times. These are different times. You've got to make a moral stand. That's what she said. By the way, also, after the Nielsen incident and some of these others, the acting Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security warned Homeland Security employees on Saturday there may be a heightened threat against them, as this is CBS News reporting. The assessment is based on specific and credible threats that have been levied against certain DHS employees and a sharp increase in the overall number of general threats against DHS employees. In addition, over the last few days, thousands of employees have had their personally identifiable information publicly released on social media. So a lot of doxing going on as well.
They had a cheese board in front of them when Wilkinson arrived, and she huddled the servers together and the workers. And most of her employees, she said, are gay. And they knew that Sanders had defended Trump's desire to bar transgender people from the military. So they're already eating, and then she walks up to them and asks her to leave.
Miss Wilkinson, tear down that cheese board.
She said she was wearing a black dress, and there was an elderly couple with them, and then a few men and a few women. I mean, are you kidding me? Excuse me, you're going to have to leave. Oh, she's already eating a cheese board?
Since this is largely a reaction to the last week's hysteria over administration immigration policy, it is worth noting, according to a press release from CPB, Customs and Border Protection, 522 illegal immigrant children have been reunited with their families who were initially separated as a result of the zero-tolerance policy. The reunions of an additional 16 unaccompanied alien children were scheduled for over this weekend, but delayed due to weather affecting travel. We expect they'll be reunited with their parents within 24 hours. And so this is the reunification of the 2,000 children is happening as quick as possible under the law and per the executive order, although Mike McCall was on with Chris Wallace over the weekend. Mike McCall was the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee in the House. And with respect to, how the zero tolerance policy against the backdrop of Trump's executive orders playing out is still a little bit murky. I think everybody's still scrambling to try and address this separation issue and the reunification issue.
Do you know whether adults, members of families crossing the border illegally can and are still being prosecuted under zero tolerance?
That was a plan. They violated the law. They're being prosecuted.
Now we hear some of these people are being dismissed.
I have heard recent reports now that may be that policy may be revisited and it may not go forward.
Zero tolerance?
That's some of the reporting I'm getting, and it's very unclear how this executive order is playing out. But I'm unclear about now the prosecution of the parents. I think they want to reunite the family and then remove them from the country.
Yeah, so it's a little murky, and so what could very well be happening is reuniting the family and releasing the family, not deporting the family, which was essentially what was going on up until the Trump administration, up until this past week, which is after 20 days, these children are being released into the American population.
Right.
And so, as we said last week when he signed this executive order, what you're doing is getting us back into the catch-release paradigm. That's what the president did. It was a cave, and that's what's happening, even though the idea of reunifying the kids with the parents is a laudable one. Drew and Morris, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just wanted to say that, as far as like the gas gauge of politics is concerned, I don't think that kicking Sarah Sanders out of a restaurant is going to tick any, voters towards the left. I think that if anything, and I think it's a completely neutral issue. I don't think anybody really cares in the big scheme of things. I don't think that's going to affect voters whatsoever. But if anything, it might have gained one or two supporters for the Trump administration.
Yeah, well,
and there's more information I have to share.
Thanks for the call, Drew. But just on Drew's point,
Yes.
That's Wall Street Journal editorial over the weekend. How to reelect Trump. The message, now you're so deplorable they won't serve you in their restaurants. It's not Sarah Sanders specifically or Kristen Nielsen specifically. It's what it represents about the left's attitude to people with whom they disagree, to members of the Trump administration, to Trump voters. You're so deplorable they won't serve you in restaurants. So actually this overreach, which we continue to see from the left, only serves to rally people around the Trump flag, so to speak. And so this, I think, is a net benefit to Trump. I think that's how it's going to play out. And you've seen that happening with respect to the generic ballot, looking ahead to November with congressional races as well.
So you have to listen to this. So the owner then said that she was tense as she approached the table. Asked her, said, "Hi, I'm the owner. I'd like you to come out to the patio with me for a word." And she said she was babbling a little, but she got her point across.
Yeah.
She said, "I explained that the restaurant has certain standards that I feel we have to uphold, such as honesty, compassion, cooperation." She said she was surprised Sarah Sanders did not. She said, "That's fine, I'll go." They offered her group, you guys can stay if you want, but she's got to leave. And the whole group got up, and they said they were going to pay for the cheese board and some wine, and I'm not sure if it was wine, I shouldn't say that, but drinks. And the owner said, "No, it's on us."
Oh, that's
they all got up and left.
That's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Actually, they're drinking Pellegrino water. I'm looking at it here.
Okay, it's fascinating.
It is. It would say 86er.
Steve on 88, when I'm on the road and attend the Catholic Mass, on the back of the bulletin, there's a list of advertisers or parishioners I usually agree with. Yeah, the old parish bulletin is a good way to identify businesses you want to patronize.
Forecast for today, we just had a gorgeous sunrise. It'll be sunny today, nice, a pleasant high of 78 degrees. Tonight we have a chance of a thunderstorm, and tomorrow thunderstorms. Some can be strong, bringing some flooding and damaging winds, a high near 80 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. How are the roadways, Jim Telemonte?
Well, Amy and Dan, 88 is just fine for Steve and everyone there, but no delays to report on the Reagan Tollway. Northbound Tri-State getting a little congested approaching the Eisenhower and eastbound Adams Tollway. Monday morning slowdown for the Tri-State down to the Kennedy with some airport traffic mixed in. It's getting heavy now on westbound 190 from Kennedy to Tri-State. Inbound Kennedy tight, 190 to Canfield, and outbound Central to around 190. Eisenhower 38 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson 50, 355 to drive already. On Ryan backing up in the express lanes, got a crash before 35th in the two left lanes. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this program. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. This week featuring recent Williams College grad Zach Wood. You may remember his name. He stood up for free speech and controversial speakers on the campus of Williams, even though he self-describes as a liberal Democrat, testified before Congress about it. Well, now this young man, who's very sharp, has a book out, gives a little bit of his backstory as well as his perspective on free speech on college campuses. And he and I go at it for a good 45 minutes. It's a very entertaining, I think, conversation that we had. Very sharp kid, so you want to check that out. Zach Wood on this week's Against the Current. 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries from yours truly. 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at the Illinois Opportunity Project. our series Heart of the Matter, which features professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day, this week on guns and self-protection, and our Follow Logic Man on the Street segments. And then don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com. Free property tax report on your home, updated home sales information on your neighborhood and your community. So all the property tax and home sales info is at defendhomeowners.com. Everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Selling your home, get ready with Mike McKetty. 708-945-2121. 708-945-2121.
Ready to sell your real estate? Call me, Mike McKetty, at Century 21 Affiliated. With over $1 billion in closed sales since 1999, I have a proven marketing plan that works. Clients like my straightforward, no-nonsense approach in positioning properties to sell. I offer accurate evaluations, saving you time, money, and unnecessary stress. Together, with my skilled team of associates and over 25 local Chicagoland offices, we help guide you through the process and get you sold. Call today, 708-945-2121. I look forward to earning your business and selling your home.
Selling your home, get ready with Mike McKetty. 708-945-2121. 708-945-2121.
We're all ready for sunshine, drinks on warm nights with friends, and getting in shape for the summer. Do it all at Riviera Country Club and Sports Center in Orland Park. A 100,000 square foot private facility with affordable fitness and social activities the entire family can enjoy. Keep your workouts fun with 64 aerobic, strength and conditioning, aquatic, and yoga classes, all included with your membership. Work on your jump shot on a full basketball court, your backhand on 2 indoor courts and outdoor clay courts. You can even take a ride on their outdoor water slide and enjoy a few laps in their indoor pools. For mental relaxation, Riviera Country Club and Sports Center offers a men's and women's spa, each with their own sauna, steam room, and whirlpool. Wrap up the day poolside with food and beverages from Gatto's Restaurant and Bar. Call Riviera Country Club and Sports Center now to join, and the first 50 callers get their first month free. Call 708-349-1100 to schedule a tour today. Again, that's 708-349-1100. Riviera Country Club and Sports Center, much more than a health club.
Hey, honey, did you hear all the buzz about those smart pills for your brain that are being used to enhance focus, memory, and creativity? It would be so amazing to have that kind of mental advantage at work. I'd love to find out which smart pill is the best and where we can get it.
Yeah, the world is so competitive. We could all use an advantage. Hey, why don't we just ask Siri? Siri knows everything. Siri will know. Okay, hey Siri, what is the best smart pill on the market today?
Searching the web. Here's what I found for the best smart pill on the market. Limitless is customer rated at the top. Take Limitless and within 30 minutes, you will experience a big boost in memory, concentration, and creativity. You don't need a prescription, and the results are guaranteed. Call Limitless now for a special free bottle offer.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-1653. That's 800-605-1653. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now, 800-605-1653, 800-605-1653.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. I don't think Plato had former CIA Director General Michael Hayden's tweet comparing Trump immigration policy to the Birkenau death camp at Auschwitz in mind when he conceived of the Noble Lie. Nor would Plato likely place under the Noble Lie header the D.C. Press Corps' magical storytelling about a 2-year-old Time magazine cover girl who was separated from her father in Honduras by her mother, but never separated from her mother by Border Patrol or anyone named Trump, not even Peter Fonda's nemesis Barron. The lies told by elites these days are intended to foment social unrest, not cohesion. The ignoble truth is that today's elites cover their tracks by feeding the public supersized whoppers to stunt their appetites for edifying information and dull their attention spans. Never mind that the fix was in at FBI. See Trump's criticism of Comey as a veiled predicate to martial law. Never mind that family separation was not new policy at the border and that only the enforcement of it was new. Instead, understand this as an existential battle not for border security, but against bigotry. In other news, Paul Manafort has pled guilty to a violent crime for which he was not charged. ABC News reports.
Your business's finances are very personal. It's the determining factor on the course you'll take for your family and your employees. But what happens when you're reaching a phase when you need advice? You want to turn to an expert, but who can you trust? Look for someone who is both knowledgeable and involved in the community, like Fred O'Connor of Northwestern Mutual. Fred has worked from Wall Street to Europe in the financial industry, but his calling as an engaged civic leader speaks to the earnest trust Fred has gained over his 30 years serving businesses and the families that run them. Fred serves on the board of the 100 Club of Chicago, the Big Shoulders Fund, and the Irish Fellowship Club. Fred can help you manage risk and plan for your goals, such as rewarding key people and strategies for business exit. Visit FredO'Connor.com to learn more about Fred's services and how he can take your business to the next level. That's FredO'Connor.com. Northwestern Mutual is the marketing name for the Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Fred O'Connor is an insurance agent of NM.
Hey, Chicagoland, Dan Proft here. I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at thehomeloanexpert.com. He's one of us, and Ryan just gets it. People are looking to buy a home right now. What do they do?
Oh, it's a great question, and it's a tight real estate market right now. I think most people know that, especially if you're actively looking to buy a house. Maybe you're on Zillow, Realtor.com, you got the apps on your phone, you're stalking them at work, and you're waiting for that right house to hit the market. Well, when it does, you better be pre-approved, and you better be pre-approved by a strong mortgage lender like the Home Loan Expert team. If you think you're the only one watching those same neighborhoods and watching those same streets, you're dead wrong. There's a lot of people out there waiting and watching. When that house hits the market, boom, goes under contract fast. Get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com, and you'll give yourself a big advantage when you do find that house. Go in there, get in there with your agent. You like it, write an offer, throw the pre-approval on the table. You should get an accepted contract. I'm Ryan Kelly, the Home Loan Expert. No one makes buying a home easier. Get pre-approved at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC.
5:57. Let's get an update on the morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. CTA reports some delays on the CTA Red Line, the north side, after police activity at Morse Station. Eastbound Adams Tollway is jammed. The Tri-State onto the Kennedy. Those delays continue to around Foster. 24 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 32, and it's heavy on westbound 190 as well. Eisenhower 39 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson 50 minutes, 355 to drive. Ryan 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. Heavier in the express, going to crash before 35th in the two left lanes. Traffic Service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drugged driving, their brief is unique, but you're not alone. MAD is here to help. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MAD-HELP. Visit mad.org, madd.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny, high 78. Cloudy tonight with a heavy late-night thunderstorm around, low 65. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and humid with thunderstorms strong late in the day, which could bring flash flooding and damaging winds, high approaching 80. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
61, skies are clear. The news, a service of Unbound.org. Right now, a girl in India has dreams that may be bigger than her village. There's an elder in Guatemala who dreams of a life of greater dignity and less loneliness. You can help change the future of a single person in a single moment. Begin the change at Unbound.org. 5:59. Stories we're following this morning on AM 560, The Answer. 2 men are in custody following a high-speed police chase and crash on the Eisenhower Expressway overnight. 2 are dead following an apparent murder-suicide in the parking lot of a restaurant in Orland Park. Bail set at $100,000 for a suburban man accused of beating a dog over the weekend in Chicago's Inglewood neighborhood. At least 2 of Chicago's bike rental companies say they may leave the city if Chicago goes ahead with rules requiring bike locks. Reds rally past the Cubs. White Sox handled the A's at Guaranteed Rate Field. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Housing immigrants at military bases. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The details are being worked out between our staffs, exactly how much capacity they need at the 2 bases.
Defense Secretary Mattis not naming the bases yet, but the Pentagon's making space available for up to 20,000 in the temporary camps as Democrats keep pressuring the Trump administration to reunite children with parents who are prosecuted for entering the U.S. illegally. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Homeland Security Department knows where 2,000 migrant children separated from their parents are, but there's no timetable for reunification. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer calling for Czar to oversee the process.
We all know that when solutions involve different agencies, the problems don't get solved at all or get solved all too slowly.
About 30 immigrant parents have been freed to a Texas charity, believed to be the first release since President Trump signed an executive order ending family separation while preserving the administration's zero-tolerance policy. Dave?
Rachel, President Trump tweeted yesterday, "We can't allow these people to invade our country," calling on them to be immediately sent back. No judges, no court cases. And he told House Republicans who hope to vote this week on immigration reform to stop wasting their time because Democrats keep resisting and it can't pass in the Senate. Several wildfires are scorching Northern California. One has burned 12 square miles, is not contained, and destroyed a dozen buildings while threatening hundreds more in Lake County.
We've never had it that close.
I've never had the fire come up to the property line like it did.
All the homes in the Spring Valley area ordered evacuated. An emotional Roseanne Barr apologizes again for the tweet condemned as racist about Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett.
I am willing to accept whatever consequences this brings because I know I've done wrong.
Oh, she told the Rabbi Shmuley Boteach podcast she's made herself a hate magnet, and it's horrible. ABC canceled Roseanne's show, but it's being brought back, renamed The Connors, without her. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA. And for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday afternoons at 4.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Are you excited that we're stripping away the veneer on civility in the political realm in the age of Trump and getting right after each other? Like happened at this Red Hen restaurant in Lexington, Virginia. Question for Miss Wilkinson, Red Wilkinson, let's call her.
Yes.
You get the Red Hen, you get the
Stephanie
Red.
Red Wilk. Okay.
She's a commie. She's a Dartmouth grad.
Well, tell people why she's a commie.
Well, she threw Sarah Sanders and her party out on Friday night of her restaurant because allowing her and her group to eat at the Red Hen in Lexington, Virginia was not consistent with her stated morals. So the question is, I mean, if these are your stated beliefs, perhaps, Red Wilkinson, you'd be willing to allow the federal government to remake your restaurant into a DHS family reunification center.
Oh, yeah.
What about that? Because, I mean, again, according to her stated philosophy, from each according to their means. You have these means, the government, which of course you genuflect before, has these needs. You are very concerned about humane policy. She characterized the Trump White House's immigration policy as inhumane and unethical. So,
and that her community is deeply divided over such issues as the Confederate flag.
well, this would be a way to bring the community together around making the Red Hen, formerly the Red Hen, a DHS Family Reunification Center.
It's a 26-seat restaurant in rural Kentucky.
Well, it is for
rural
now.
Virginia, excuse me.
You know who would be good to run the Red Hen Family Reunification Center?
Who?
Alyssa Milano. Bring her down from New York, have her run the Red Hen Family Reunification Center. What do you think
Well, you know what?
about that?
Remember after Hurricane Katrina, they asked people all over the country to take people in from New Orleans. And I actually interviewed a woman from Tulane because I have an extra bedroom in my basement, and I was going to have her live there. So why don't we do that with these families? Ask Americans, hey, who wants to open up their doors? If you have a spare bedroom, bring in a family, mom, dad, kid, or maybe just a mom and the child, and have them stay there until their court hearing. Feed them, clothe them, take care of them, and then drive them to their court hearing and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a good idea. We did it after Hurricane Katrina. We should do it now. Because there's still 502 kids were reunited with their parents over the weekend.
1,000 migrants coming from Central America a month.
1,000?
1,000 families. Yeah. There's these kind of woozy, magical thoughts about how this is all going to work out, and then there's the actual reality on the ground. And the two shall never meet with respect to Red Wilkinson and her ilk. Interestingly, did you see this? David Lynch, the Twin Peaks creator?
Yeah.
Donald Trump could go down as one of the greatest presidents in history.
Wow.
He said this in an interview with The Guardian. Because he's disrupted the thing so much, talking about the political establishment. No one is able to counter this guy in an intelligent way. And it's not that necessarily Lynch is some conservative or Trumpian. He's just describing what he's seeing. Our so-called leaders can't take the country forward, can't get anything done like children they are. Trump has shown all of this. He's basically said that Trump's rise has pointed out how flawed the system is and politicians have been, which has opened the door for other, better political outsiders. I'm not really a political person, but I like the freedom to do what you want to do, said Lynch, even though he was a Bernie Sanders voter in the Democrat primary over Hillary Clinton. So this is sort of, this disruptive influence that Trump has. And the reaction doesn't protect the establishment. It just further disintegrates it. It further disrupts. Dan Hannan, our friend, MEP, member of European Parliament, until Brexit, from Runnymede in England, had a good piece in Washington Examiner about the mob, the shame mob, as we're seeing on display. The worst thing is not the mob, it's the cowardice that we display before the mob, writes Hannan. In every age, some people have formed gangs to persecute deviants or heretics. It seems to be in our genes, a hangover perhaps from our hunter-gatherer days when commitment to the kinship was a survival trait. The internet didn't create the problem. What it's done is make us more pusillanimous, even when we know that the mob is misdirected. The mob, the shame mob in the digital age, with the ubiquitous access to be an internet tough guy, right? Anonymous tweets and Facebook posts and stuff. Big tough guy on the internet. It's allowed us to be more cowardly. But do you think that's right? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. I'm not going to engage in a public way for fear of shaming. I'm just going to go write a nasty Yelp review anonymously. Right?
Yeah, that's what people are doing. But I mean, the fact that she was seated with her husband and 6 other people, and they were eating a cheese board, and then the woman asked to speak to her on the patio, gave her the news, and then said the rest of her party can stay, but she had to leave, please.
So they
it's
left.
Shameful, but it's disgraceful. There's no need for that.
Well, here's the thing.
I mean, they were well behaved.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
sitting there eating.
Here's the thing. don't you want the false civility stripped away? Ambrose Bierce in the Devil's Dictionary. Politics is a strife of interest masquerading as a contest of principles. So, get rid of the high-minded principles, which most people do not have, particularly inside the political arena, that it is a strife of interest. It's the old Dennis Miller line about, when the senators refer to my good friend from Montana, they're really saying that jack off over there that I can't stand. Mm-hmm. It's all false civility. So should we indulge false civility, or should we just strip it away and say, oh, you got a problem with me? I got a problem with you. Let's hash it out. Rhetorically, preferably. But stop pretending like, we're on the same page. We're drinking buddies. We have different perspectives. Politicians have different interests they're representing. So why not just be forthright about it, as opposed to the veneer of civility with the barbarism bubbling just below the surface, which is what actually is occurring. Oh, let's just be nice to one another. Oh, let's be nice. Everybody will be nice, and then they'll go to their respective places and do some very not nice things. How about confront the facade?
Well, she should have told her, because she didn't tell her that most of her employees are gay, and her gay employees knew that Sanders defended Trump's desire to ban transgenders from the military. Well, she should have said that rather than, we don't believe. What exactly did she say?
Yeah, so she called the Trump administration unethical and inhumane, the immigration policy. It's not consistent with our morals. This is a time to stand for, your belief in democracy. It's an odd thing for, a Dartmouth English lit major to say. But who cares what she says? And who cares that she kicked Sarah Sanders and her party out? We're just going to do like the kind of moral indignation. Everybody's always trying to be more morally indignant than the next guy.
Have you ever been kicked out of a place?
No, because I'm a delight to have as a patron. Dan in Libertyville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I find it rather ironic that Hillary Clinton went on a rampage about how the election was not going to be accepted by those deplorables that support Trump, and that there was going to be, demonstrations in the street and social unrest. And yet this is exactly what Hillary's followers are doing.
Yeah, but so why don't we? Yeah, but the question is, should we embrace it or should we, heap scorn on it?
Well, the idea of embracing it is going to lead to violence in the street, and
why?
That's never a good thing.
Well, why does it necessarily lead to violence? You don't want me to go to your restaurant? Fine.
Look at Antifa. What did they do? Well, what did the people in Berkeley do with the pepper spray? You start pepper spraying a guy that's concealed carrying, he's going to shoot you dead.
Well, wait a second. This is you're mixing apples and orange orchards.
No, it's a fact. What happened in Berkeley?
No. Wait a second. I'm talking about refusal of service at a restaurant. I'm not talking about violence in the streets. Yeah, if Antifa commits an act of violence, then they can expect violence in return. That's a different story. I'm talking about, generally speaking, hey, get out of my restaurant. Get out of my shoe store. Get out of my retail shop. Okay, fine, I will. Well, let's just strip it all away so we know where everybody stands, which side of the skirmish line you're on. What's wrong with that?
I don't have any problem with that. As a matter of fact, I do it.
Oh, all right.
I went to the Deerfield Village Board meeting when they were trying to strip us of our constitutional rights, and I chewed them out and called them bureaucrats, the very bureaucrats that Thomas Jefferson warned us about. But my point is, things have gotten topsy-turvy. Illegal aliens, people are demanding to have the right to enter. People who are somehow working with a public official are being deported from restaurants. Things have gone topsy-turvy, and it's very uncomfortable.
Okay, thanks for the call. Deported from the Red Hen.
Could you see conservatives kicking out liberals? Or, was that because, also that Baker didn't bake the cake?
Sean from Elmwood Park kicks socialists out of his cigar shop all the time.
Really?
Yeah, so what? You come in
before they buy a cigar
you come in with a Bernie Sanders shirt on and it's the Elmer Cigar Shop and you get thrown out. What's wrong with that? And you get,
Yeah, what else?
and you get ridiculed in the process.
Oh, okay.
So what's wrong with that?
Well, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
Decorum.
What?
He doesn't know? I mean, does he really kick it if he wears...
Yes. So what? It's my private property. It's my business. We have an ideological disagreement because you're a plunderer and I'm not, and I don't want you to avail yourself of my goods or services. What's wrong with that? As opposed to this, again, this imposed civility that is fake. Let's get honest. Jim on 94. Hey, Jim. Jim on 94.
Jim.
Jim on 94 has
Hi, Jim.
departed. Andy on 88. Try a different expressway.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. How are you guys this morning?
Morning.
Good.
Yeah, I think you're right. Take the mask off. We can do it by, I think, posting some signs in businesses. We refuse the right, or we reserve the right to refuse service, and list who that would be. That would make our choices easier.
Yeah. And I like that. Thanks for the comment. And here's the other thing. I'll wear the Scarlet C. I mean, instead of making it something that's imposed, let's celebrate it. Let's put a little C on our lapels for conservative. Yeah. And let's walk around loudly and proudly and see what happens.
I'd like to keep my volunteer job.
Yeah. Well, that's the cowardice that Dan Hannon's talking about.
Yeah, probably so.
Dennis in Villa Park.
Give me a year.
Yeah, the difference between the conservatives and the liberals is the conservatives just leave the place because they were asked to leave. The liberals will have to try and sue them or have them arrested or prosecuted in some way. That's why people get really upset.
No, I know. I get it. But we don't want to be the liberals. Right? Right?
Yeah, well, the point I think the other fellow was trying to make is that they just will not stop until they grind you into the ground, which causes you to want to react back.
No.
You can only take skin slaps so many times.
No, that's...
when they say turn the other cheek, I only got two.
Well, thanks for the call, Dennis. No, that's right, but that's what I'm saying. So rather than turning the other cheek, as it were, is slap back. You want me out? I'm out. I'm going to focus on on giving my business to the ideologically aligned. I'm going to wear a C on my lapel. If you don't have a C, then we know you're not a conservative. I mean, let's just balkanize the place and let's get to it. And if that results in some confrontations, well, maybe those will be clarifying. Mike on the north side.
Dan, I will never wear a red C on anything
I didn't say red.
I own.
I didn't say red.
Well, a lot of people see the scarlet and think it's red, and it'll be that other baseball team.
Well, I was
Forget
using an analogy. Yes, right. Yes.
But, you gave me, I had a couple of solutions, nonviolent solutions to your problem, but you just inspired me with another one. I'm going to put on a WCPT T-shirt. I'm going to go sit in Sean cigar store in Elmhurst, and I'm not going to buy anything. I'm going to have a soy milk, and I'm going to ask to use the bathroom. He doesn't know what I look like, so he'll think I'm some disgruntled college student.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Yeah, that is a good idea.
Try it.
Yeah,
a good experiment.
That WCP, you won't even have a chance to enjoy that soy milk if you walk in with the WCPT hat on.
Milk.
David and McCook.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was just going to mention, where's the public outcry against this, like with the gay couple with the cake thing? I think Sarah Sanders should sue that restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why? What's the basis?
Well, that's what the left would do. Where's the catchphrase, the outrage? We're outraged about this.
Yeah, thanks for
and
sorry.
I asked you that at the beginning of the show. Could she sue them?
I don't-
What would the basis for a lawsuit
I don't
be?
think there's a basis for it, and even if there is, I mean, is that what you want to do? Then we're playing on their side of the field, aren't we? We're going to litigate everything. We're going to be morally indignant. We're going to be our own outrage mob. Why don't we do something different? That's how you shift the paradigm. Otherwise, we're just fueling this scam that they're running on the other side. I mean, don't adopt their tactics. You can use their tactics to undermine them to shift the paradigm, but what so many people are talking about is, and how they're reacting is the same way the left would react.
I got to tell you, though, her approaching their table after they've already been served their appetizers and asking her to step outside on the patio, I would not have done that. Like, if you want to talk to me here in front of everybody.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, I want you to leave here in front of everybody. Then what?
That would be better than pulling her outside, telling her how she feels, because everyone cares about their feelings so much. If you're a business owner, you suck it up, Buttercup. That's a table of 8. That's a lot of money. And you have a 26-seat restaurant. I don't know. I just wouldn't have done it. I would not have done it.
You would not have kicked her out, or you would not have left? Would you have gotten into a physical altercation? Would you have said, you have to drag me from here? Would you have chained yourself to the cheese board? What would you have done?
I think I would have stayed. I honestly think I would have stayed.
Well, then they would have had you removed, and you would have been arrested again.
Again.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, the world's ugliest dog is... Wait for it. But first, here's your forecast. Beautiful sunshine today. Just a lovely day, a high of 78 degrees. Tonight, though, we have a heavy thunderstorm going around here, probably late this evening, a low of 65. Tomorrow, thunderstorms. Some may be strong and bring flooding and damaging winds, a high near 80 degrees. Let's get into the alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Morning, Dan. Eden's inbound. Delay start at 2 23 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Kennedy, 26 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 35. And it's heavy with Monday morning rush to the airport. Westbound 190. Stop and go from Kennedy to Manheim. Eisenhower now 42 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound 31. Stevenson 50 minutes. 355 to the drive. Ryan 34 minutes. 95th to downtown. Heavier in the express after a crash before 35th. I-57, Vision Ford, both 16 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Northbound Tri-State slow in the area from the Reagan Tollway to the Bentonville Bridge. The Adams Tollway's heavy from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. All clear in northwest Indiana. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
The celebration of our troops and veterans continues at Joe Cotton Ford. There's $750 bonus cash for all active military and veterans. Plus, next month on July 14th, please join us for our USO Barbecue for the Troops, raising awareness and funds for local troops and their families. It's always a great event and certainly a great cause. You won't want to miss it. Good food, lots of fun, and great savings. Like the $750 Veterans Bonus Cash offer, plus all the great savings from Joe Cotton Ford. Please join us for a day of celebrating our military and our community on July 14th, and you'll see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience, and why Ford is America's best-selling brand. And don't forget all the Joe Cotton Ford exclusives that make a Ford from Joe Cotton Ford a better value. It's our promise to you. We'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com.
On select vehicles through July 9th. See dealer for details.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. The thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know. The credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people. They're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And did you catch this? Probably not, because there hasn't been much reporting on it. So there's a lot of outrage over the law being enforced against illegal immigrants, and none about the law not being enforced on behalf of American citizens. Judicial Watch, the shadow Department of Justice during the Obama administration, released on Friday newly obtained internal IRS documents, including material revealing that Senator John McCain's former staff director and chief counsel on the Senate Homeland Security Permanent Subcommittee, his name's Henry Kerner. You got Kerner and Lerner. Henry Kerner urged top IRS officials, including Lois Lerner, you remember her, the director of the tax-exempt organizations processing, who pled the fifth and was never brought to justice. Kerner urged her and others to audit conservative groups, to audit so many that it becomes financially ruinous, to audit for the purposes of ruining conservative organizations applying for C3 status, nonprofit status.
So to harass them,
well, it's a little bit more than harass when you're trying to take them out and you're the IRS, which is, the most weaponized non-military agency in the federal government. April 30th, 2013, Kerner recommends maybe the solution is to audit so many that it is financially ruinous. Lerner responded that it's her job to oversee it all. The IRS scandal, I mean, you want to talk about agencies that have lost standing for equal justice under the law. We've talked so much about the intelligence agencies in the last year and a half. Remember the IRS? Remember targeting American citizens based on their political and religious beliefs. And John Koskinen, it took, frankly, Trump forever to replace him. He finally replaced him. He wasn't impeached. He wasn't charged criminally. Lois Lerner pleads the fifth. She's never charged criminally. Nobody is ever brought to justice at IRS. Targeting American citizens based on their political and religious beliefs. Everybody wants to get up in arms about Red Hen. That's a private organization. How about, if you want to direct your outrage somewhere, how about the federal government, the IRS, throwing you, proverbially throwing you out of a restaurant, proverbially targeting you for your beliefs? I mean, this is incredible. And I'd like a little bit of a reckoning from John McCain per his staffer there, Henry Kerner, being in on with this cabal to target Americans and organizations based on those political and religious beliefs. This is what should be headlining the news, not Sarah Huckabee Sanders at Red Hen. But, of course, it isn't.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up this discussion and talk immigration with our friend Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show after ours. That's at 6:36.
And later, a million reasons why the Gay Pride Parade should be moved downtown. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 61 degrees. Senator Marco Rubio said this morning he understands why families cross the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. He spoke with reporters after visiting a Homestead, Florida detention facility.
I understand why people do it. They're desperate and they want to live a better life. But it is a terrible practice to have that has created an incentive for people to come across a very dangerous journey that frankly endangers the lives of people that are on the journey, even the adults, but especially the children.
Protesters, as you heard, also showed up to watch Rubio address the media's questions. The Supreme Court will wind up its session this week. Rulings on a number of politically potent cases. The highest profile test case is President Trump's ban on travel and immigration by those from 8 countries, including 6 Muslim majority nations. One of the others we're watching is whether non-union employees have to pay fees to unions that represent public sector workers, including teachers and police. The president himself is headed to South Carolina today to back Governor Henry McMaster ahead of Tuesday's runoff election. A South Carolina lawmaker seriously hurt in a deadly crash this morning is showing signs of progress. Kate Arrington, you may recall that name, had 2 major surgeries yesterday, and her Twitter account says both went well. The state rep and Republican congressional candidate was hurt in a head-on crash with a wrong-way driver Friday night. The wrong-way driver was killed. Arrington suffered a broken back, broken ribs, and emergency surgery had to remove parts of her small intestine and colon. Arrington, you may recall, is facing Democrat Joe Cunningham in November to replace 1st District Congressman Mark Sanford, who Arrington beat in the GOP primary. A new report this morning finds Milwaukee police destroyed DNA evidence from at least 50 homicide cases in the 1990s, some of which were open and unsolved. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel was first to report the justification was to make room in a storage facility. Police officials did not consult with the Milwaukee County DA's office and did not provide a list of the cases impacted to prosecutors after the action was taken. Evidence was also destroyed from sexual assault cases. 2 men are in custody following a high-speed police chase and crash early this morning on the Eisenhower Expressway. 2 are dead following an apparent murder-suicide. It happened in the parking lot of a restaurant in Orland Park. Bail set at $100,000 for a suburban man accused of beating a dog over the weekend in Chicago's West Englewood neighborhood. A father and his 2 teenage children rescued Sunday after their kayaks overturned on the fast-moving DuPage River and then became stranded. Reds rally past the Cubs 8-6. White Sox handled the A's at Guaranteed Rate Field 10-3. The news service of Unbound. Right now there's a girl in India who has dreams bigger than her village. Right now there's an elder in Guatemala who dreams of a life of greater dignity and less loneliness. You can help change the future of one person in a single moment. Begin the change at unbound.org. 6:34 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager, The Dennis Prager Show.
One of the reasons that there are no competing goods for the left on this issue is they don't really care if we are inundated with illegal immigrants. That's one reason. Another reason is everything is seen in the prism of how can it hurt this administration.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Quoting home insurance just got easier with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Quote and buy, all online at Progressive.com.
There's always that time of day when the sun creates havoc at the office.
This is ridiculous.
You're literally blinded by the light. Can't see a thing on your computer monitor and feel like you're baking in an oven. Make your office or storefront distraction-free with custom shades from 1-800-4BLINDS. You'll keep your customers comfortable, protect furnishings and decor from fading, and have happy, productive employees that don't have to stop in the middle of a project because of the glare. 1-800-4BLINDS can get the job done quickly with their local in-house installation crew. You'll save money on window treatments that not only look great, but will also help you shrink utility bills with special heat-reducing shades that can trap heat between the window and shade. They also offer custom painted solar shades with your logo or photo image printed directly on the shade. Get the sun out of your eyes. Call 1-800-4BLINDS direct for a consultation today. 773-447-5448 or visit 1-800-4BLINDSchicago.com. That's 1-800-4BLINDSchicago.com.
6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's inbound delays start around 2 23 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 20. Kennedy, now 32 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 14 from Montrose, 11 on the Express. Outbound delays start at Diversey. 14 minutes to Montrose, 50 from downtown to O'Hare. Also heavy on westbound 190 from the Kennedy, the terminal area at the airport. Now Eisenhower, inbound delays start at Manheim. 46 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 33. Stevenson now 55 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Ryan 34 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 18. Northbound Tri-State delays are from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Veterans Memorial now tight, Butterfield to St. Charles. Traffic service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America Take Steps Walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To find a walk site near you, visit www.cctakesteps.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Alamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Thank you, Jim. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly sunny, nice today, high 78. The news is a service of Aruba Tourism. Imagine if your daily commute was from your beach chair right to the crystal blue Caribbean Sea. It's time for an escape to sunny Aruba. Hop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your Aruba vacation today at Aruba.com. Currently 61 at O'Hare, 60 along the lakefront. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is powered by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping the lights on through summer storms.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Chris Walsh's program on Sunday featured a couple of good interviews. We played a clip from House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mike McCall earlier. He also pulled back in Obama's Department of Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson, who was reminded of what the Obama administration policy was, and Jay Johnson embraced it.
Without a doubt, the images and the reality from 2014, just like 2018, are not pretty. And so we expanded family detention. We had then 34,000 beds for family detention, only 95 of 34,000 equipped to deal with families. So we expanded it. I freely admit it was controversial. We believed it was necessary at the time. I still believe it is necessary to maintain a certain capability for families. We can't have catch and release. And in my 3 years, we deported or repatriated or returned over 1 million people.
So, by the way, so those just coming to this issue because they're just paying attention because it's Trump and the D.C. press corps is whipping them into a frenzy. The policy under President Obama and President Bush before him, and Jay Johnson is saying that's the right call, and it's a difficult situation, and catch and release doesn't work, which is what we've reverted back to because of Trump's executive order. and the lack of a congressional fix to this juncture. And Jay Johnson went further in this discussion of catch and release to explain why it doesn't work, give those people that are just emoting some of the data so they understand the scope of the problem and thus the complications associated with any proposed solution.
The practical result of the program that the Obama administration put in was that you had to release. You caught and had to release some of the people with a promise and sometimes an ankle bracelet that they would come back. I want to put up some numbers on the screen because according to government numbers, 74% of those who were released showed up for their hearings last year. But that still left almost 40,000 people who didn't show up for deportation hearings. So catch and release, which is what the practical effect was under the Obama administration and until this year for the Trump administration, that doesn't really work either, does it?
Well, without a doubt, it's a problem, Chris, which is one of the reasons we expanded family detention, which was controversial. A lot of people
was knocked down by the court. That's the reason we got this 20-day ruling. It was because of the Obama administration's policy.
Well, we expanded family detention. And then we ran into the issue of the Flores case, which you mentioned a moment ago. I disagreed then with the ruling in the Flores case because I think that our Border Patrol and our immigration enforcement people need those tools available to deal with situations like this. But it's a sheer matter of numbers, Chris. Right now, we have family detention capability for about 3,000 or 4,000 people. And you've got over 1,000 migrants crossing the border a day in Central America. And so even if you emptied it out completely today, it would fill back up in a matter of days.
Right. Yeah, I think I misspoke. I said 1,000 a month earlier. 1,000 a day. 1,000 a day. That's the scope of the problem. So you want to direct your hysteria Jay Johnson's way, no justice, no peace, Maxine, and the rest of the leftists and the CNN and the cable news networks. I mean, there's the level-headed reality on the ground from a former Homeland Security Secretary, the same reality on the ground that Kirstjen Nielsen and the Trump administration are facing. Now propose something, left, and frankly, Republicans in the House and Senate, move something on the topic. For more on both, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Mike Gallagher, host of the eponymous Mike Gallagher Show, which follows our show weekdays 9 to 11 on these airwaves. Mike, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Greetings from the Rio Grande Valley, or the RGV, as they call it around these parts.
Yeah,
from Weslaco, Texas.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
stalking
sir.
Melania Trump, as we understand it.
Actually, yesterday I stalked Elizabeth Warren, and it was an awkward moment because as she was holding her usual press conference and carrying on outside a family detention center about 2 miles from where I'm sitting right now. And, of course, she was surrounded by a scrum of cameras and reporters and expressing her deep concerns and, all the usual Democrat talking points. I was so tempted to just start yelling, Pocahontas, Pocahontas, Pocahontas. I thought, they'll drag me out of here. I won't be able to broadcast on Monday. But it was interesting to see the little press event there. But, guys, it has been an amazing journey. I mean, I've been taken all around the border. I've had a great tour of McAllen. I did go to where Mrs. Trump visited the other day when she appeared with that peculiar jacket at the Immigrants Children's Processing Center, and got to see that. I've been to a couple of family detention centers. I went into Mexico yesterday. I did some of my pre-recording from the Mexican side of the border
and some shopping,
going back and forth. Yeah, I did some shopping. Got some souvenirs for you guys.
Yep.
I brought Amy back a little sombrero, like a little sombrero piggy bank, and brought you some cigars, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Well, what is the feel? I mean, if you talk to the people in McAllen and the people in Mexico, how are they processing what's going on?
Well, I mean, this is a new problem. This is not a new problem for them, Amy. As you guys just mentioned, this has been happening for years. I think they're a little bit grateful that there's a big international media focus on this because they want this problem fixed. Now, make no mistake, this is a blue area. Even though Texas is a red state, the border towns along the Mexican border are very blue. A lot of Mexicans who live on the Texas side, so they're not exactly going to have a bunch of MAGA hats on or Trump for 2020 signs in their front yard. But Having said that, many of them are recognizing that President Trump sort of inherited this problem. The family's being torn apart. I visited and interviewed Sister Norma, who runs Catholic Charities, and she went into business with her shelter and her facility in 2014 because children were being separated from their parents. And so one of the big lies has been all this began under Donald Trump. And everybody here along the border knows full well it didn't. It's been going on for years.
Well, first,
and so that's one of the big misconceptions, Dan.
First of all, I want to congratulate you, along with Melania Trump, for visiting 100% more child detention centers than Michelle Obama did. So congratulations on that accomplishment, number one. Number two, what has the conversation been like with Border Patrol officers and DHS officials, particularly since they've been characterized as Nazi guards at Auschwitz, basically, including from former CIA Director General Michael Hayden? I mean, the scorn that's been heaped indirectly on Border Patrol is really incredible. I'm sure they're not unaware of it.
They're not unaware of it, and these men and women happen to be very, very much in support of the president and the administration's policies. They know that this president, really has got their back, and they're very. This is a very. I will say this: all the men and women I spoke to who are Border Patrol and immigration authorities are very pro-Trump, very much grateful for these policies and for the attention that's now being focused. One thing that Trump always does. He guides the national conversation. He leads the dialogue. And let's face it, now we're having a very important conversation that we should have been having years ago about what we do with these families, what we do with the children, how we do this with compassion and humanity, but also enforce the law. And as you guys do every morning brilliantly, it's a complicated, multi-layered problem. What's not complicated is to see the pushback from the left, whether it's Sarah Sanders being kicked out of a restaurant in Virginia or Barron Trump being suggested to be put in a cage with pedophiles, and boy, that'll really show him, or Seth Rogen embarrassing Paul Ryan and his kids at an event and bragging about it later on TV. Those kinds of things that listen, as uncomfortable it is, and as unpleasant, keep it coming, because the more Americans see how crazy the left is, the better chance we have of holding on to the House and the Senate in the midterm election.
Speaking of the left, I saw Elizabeth Warren's interview after she left that shelter, and she was, borderline in tears, saying the kids they're in cages, they're sleeping on floors. What have you seen when you visited these places?
I've seen kids play with toys, watch soccer, interact with doctors and with caring volunteers. There are many, many places along here that are not treating these kids with anything but kindness and love and care. And I was there at that press conference with Elizabeth Warren, and I thought, you're seeing a lot of different things than I saw. I wish one of the reporters would have asked what CNN's own Brooke Baldwin asked Senator Tammy Baldwin last week on CNN. Maybe you guys saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about, Dan, deer in the headlights. Hey, where were you when this was happening in 2014? See these pictures of these kids under Mylar blankets and in cages? That was 2014. Did you speak out then? Remember Jackie Gleason on The Honeymooners? Humana. She had nothing to say. And nor would Elizabeth Warren. I'd like to locate quotes from Elizabeth Warren and speaking out vociferously against Barack Obama in 2014 when the same thing was happening. We all know it didn't happen. We all know it didn't happen. Now, these people, I don't want to minimize this, guys. They're scared. They're afraid. Many of these kids are unaccompanied minors whose parents have sent them through this grueling. One thing I've learned from being down here, this desert and the area, the crossing, the Rio Grande. I mean, guys, it's 98 sweltering degrees on a cool day. It's miserable. These are terrible conditions. So there's just a lot of anxiety. But the reaction has been an outpouring, I think, on the Texas side of love, of trying to help and try to do what's best for these kids and these families.
All right, he is Mike Gallagher. He's broadcasting live today, as you heard, from McAllen, Texas, at the U.S.-Mexico border, and he'll have more insights and first-person accounts of what he's seen, and including with the people on the ground trying to deal with this situation humanely. Mike Gallagher, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dan, Amy, always great being with you. Keep fighting a good fight, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm I'm Lou Dobbs. President Trump may boost tariffs on cars from the European Union, Tesla abandoning a dozen solar projects, and Delta Airlines ending transport of pit bulls. Those stories next.
Hey, this is Ricky from Banyan Hill. I want to get a few things straight. First off, I like freedom. Second, I like money. Fact is, I like freedom and money, which is why I love Freedom Checks, a unique investment that can secure your retirement income without being tied down to the government. And while I'm no genius, I am smart enough to follow an expert like Matt, who showed me how anyone has the chance to stake their claim on an estimated $34.6 billion payout. To get all the details from Matt, just go to myfreedomchecks.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri, who's set to get a check for $24,075. Now, how much your check is depends on how much you put behind Matt's insights, but the potential here is undeniable. Of course, if you want the chance to grab your full fair share of this $34.6 billion, you must have your ducks in a row ASAP. So don't wait. Go see Matt at myfreedomchecks.com. That's www.myfreedomchecks.com.
Reacting to Friday's imposition of tariffs on U.S. products by the European Union, President Trump says if the EU tariffs and trade barriers aren't quickly removed, he'll add a 20% tariff on all cars imported from the European Union. That would be a big jump from the 2.5% charged on EU cars now. Electric car maker Tesla, which recently announced it's cutting 9% of its workforce, now says it's downsizing its Solar City division. That means the closing of a dozen Solar City facilities. No word on how many employees will lose their jobs. Delta Airlines no longer accepting pit bulls on its flights as service or support animals. Delta cited several employees bitten by those pit bulls. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Oh, parents, come on. You know you're thinking about it. When will school start next fall? And it's a perfect time for you to also be thinking about, well, where you will be sending your child back to school. More and more parents are thinking about private school, and maybe that's you. Well, private school has never been more affordable thanks to our good friends at halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find the tuition voucher for a full year at, you guessed it, half off the normal price. There is no catch. There's schools all over the Chicagoland area, including Chicago, the Midwestern Christian Academy in Chicago, Emmanuel Lutheran School in Palatine. I've been there. That's a lovely place. Calvin Christian School in South Holland, just to name a few. But don't delay. Summer won't last forever, thank goodness. And school will be starting again before you know it. Visit halfpriceschools.com today, halfpriceschools.com. Do it today because these vouchers will sell out. halfpriceschools.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. All too often, Permaseal hears stories of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains, and I'm very well aware of that situation. Well, you don't expect your living room or bedroom to get wet, do you? Then why settle and continue to live with a wet basement? The Permaseal team believes your basement should be dry no matter how hard it rains. That's right. You can have a permanently dry basement. Just give them a call at 800-421-SEAL. They offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value in the industry. Roy Spencer started Permaseal back in 1979, and it's still a local Chicagoland family business doing the right thing and standing behind their work. They also have the most positive reviews of any waterproofing company on the Better Business Bureau website. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but you know who to call if you want your basement dry all of the time. you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325. Or check out permaseal.net.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Your business's finances are very personal. It's the determining factor on the course you'll take for your family and your employees. But what happens when you're reaching a phase when you need advice? You want to turn to an expert, but who can you trust? Look for someone who is both knowledgeable and involved in the community, like Fred O'Connor of Northwestern Mutual. Fred has worked from Wall Street to Europe in the financial industry, but his calling as an engaged civic leader speaks to the earnest trust Fred has gained over his 30 years serving businesses and the families that run them. Fred serves on the board of the 100 Club of Chicago, the Big Shoulders Fund, and the Irish Fellowship Club. Fred can help you manage risk and plan for your goals, such as rewarding key people and strategies for business exit. Visit FredO'Connor.com to learn more about Fred's services and how he can take your business to the next level. That's FredO'Connor.com. Northwestern Mutual is the marketing name for the Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Fred O'Connor is an insurance agent of NM.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Enjoy your summer with a new smile and a new outlook on life. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I know the most handsome dog in the world is an Arubian Canuku named Hayek. The ugliest dog in the world, Amy?
Well, her name is Jaja, and she, of course, is a bulldog. She came from Minnesota. They drove all the way to California. It's the annual World's Ugliest Dog Contest. It's in Petaluma, California every year. And they judge on not only appearances, but personality. And Zaza had a lot of that because she jumped up on not jumped up, but her owner put her on the judge's table. And she went up to each judge and sniffed around. It was cute. I mean, she has crazy eyes, a crooked tail, a little bit of a weird walk. And she has a tongue that hangs out almost to the ground. It's about a foot long. It's ugly, but
and she adores a penthouse view, as I understand.
Jaja, she's so ugly, she's cute.
Jaja's one of the coolest looking pups I've ever seen. I saw her picture and I just had to have her. Hi, Jaja. She came from a puppy mill in Missouri we adopted her maybe 4 years ago.
And they won $1,500.
Oh, the bulldog.
Consider the bulldog, a grotesque monstrosity born of relentless inbreeding, riddled with sinusitis, crippled by joint pain, chronically flatulent.
Oh, so true.
A kindly pet or humanity's cruelest mistake?
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
It all started for Stephen Miller, his dreams of a wall in third grade. We'll have a poignant op-ed from Politico at 7:07.
And later, why the Gay Pride Parade should be moved downtown. But first, here's Mike Scott.
Apparent murder-suicide outside an Orland Park restaurant. WIND Chicago News Time,
How
7.
to reunite immigrant families that were separated. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. They were protesting outside the golf club where President Trump played yesterday as the Senate's Democratic leader Chuck Schumer calls for a czar to be appointed overseeing family reunification.
The situation created by zero tolerance has left many people with zero confidence that the administration will be able to quickly unite the kids.
Homeland Security says reunification is being well coordinated, involving a little over 2,000 children, as the Pentagon also plans to set up temporary camps for immigrants at 2 military bases. House Republicans may vote this week on another immigration reform plan. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, House Homeland Security Committee Republican Chair Mike McCall has proposed compromise legislation that he says secures the border and deals with family migration.
Going to a merit-based system and providing for a rational DACA fix.
McCall says the president supports his bill, even after he tweeted last week that lawmakers should forget about passing anything on immigration until after the midterm elections. Even if the House passes immigration legislation, it would face opposition in the Senate. Dave.
Rachel, amid the trade dispute between President Trump and Canada, China, and the European Union, Harley-Davidson says it will shift production of motorcycles sold in Europe outside the U.S. to factories overseas, citing a new EU tariff jumping from 6 to 31%. President Trump's taking issue with Jimmy Fallon, tweeting the Tonight Show host is whimpering over the backlash for messing up then-candidate Trump's hair during an appearance in September 2016. Fallon told a Hollywood Reporter podcast,
I did not do it to normalize him or to say I believe in his political beliefs. It's all in the fun of the show, and I made a mistake. I'm sorry if I made anyone mad.
The president ended his tweet, "Be a man, Jimmy." Fallon responded, donating money to an advocacy organization in the president's name. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Clear skies, sunshine, 61 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 men are in custody following a high-speed police chase and crash on the Eisenhower Expressway. On Chicago's west side, officers were chasing a stolen vehicle early this morning on I-290 when it slammed into another car and then an IDOT truck near Racine. The chase began in Palatine, drifted west to Oakbrook and Hinsdale before heading back into the city on the Ike. No injuries reported. 2 men in the stolen car were arrested. An off-duty Chicago police officer faces charges of aggravated assault with a firearm following an incident outside of a Rosemont bar. William Zeppi was trying to help bouncers escort people out of the Park Tavern after a fight broke out yesterday while outside. Zeppi got into an argument with some patrons and pulled a pistol. Another customer immediately disarmed him. Zeppi was later arrested. At least 2 of Chicago's bike rental companies say they may leave the city of Chicago if they go ahead with rules requiring bike locks. Officials with Lime Bikes and OFA say an ordinance in Chicago requiring a bike lock or a bike rack for their bikes would just be too much. Their bikes have wheels that lock, but city leaders say the dockless bikes are parked all over the place. It's a mess and a nuisance. The FAA will be in western Illinois this week looking for answers about a small plane crash that killed 2 people. The plane went down yesterday morning in a field in Warren County. The coroner says both on board died at the scene. Reds rally past the Cubs 8-6. Yoan Moncada homered and drove in 6. White Sox easily handled the A's at the rate 10-3. The News is a service of Aruba Tourism. Imagine if your daily commute was from your beach chair right to the crystal blue Caribbean Sea. It's time for an escape to sunny Aruba. Hop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your Aruba vacation today at Aruba.com. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity, The Sean Hannity Show.
You effectively have just opened the borders, wide open borders. It doesn't solve the problem. And Congress doesn't want to do their job. Because if they really did, they could literally get it done in a day. If they really meant the things that they were saying, they would get it done for the sake of the children that they seem to care so much about.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat,
The buying toner for the copy machine hat. The sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA. And for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
7:05. Let's get a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Killdeer area northbound Quentin Road is closed. White Pine to Cuba Road due to a crash. Eden's inbound has delays starting at Peterson, 24 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 23. Cat 44 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 24 from Montrose, 23 in the Express. Outbound just 16 minutes to Montrose, about an hour and 2 minutes to O'Hare. Got Eisenhower, 51 minutes, 390 to downtown, 36 from Manheim, outbound 49 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 42 minutes. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishopport 25. Northbound Tri-State, heavy from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Adams Tollway from Lee to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway, 22nd of the Tri-State. Northbound Veterans Memorial, still Boughton most of the way to St. Charles, and southbound 53 has delays from the Adams Tollway to Higgins. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Partly sunny day, high 78. Heavy late night thunders from around, low 65. Humid with thunderstorms tomorrow, strong late in the day, high 79. Then thunderstorms severe early at night, low 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
61 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. What about the children? Are they being reunited with their families? The answer is yes. Customs and Border Protection releasing a statement over the weekend. 522 unaccompanied alien children in their custody have been reunited with their parents. There's another 16 who are scheduled to be reunited, delayed due to weather affecting travel. And that's happening
have you noted,
as well.
Sorry for interrupting, but United and American and Frontier are back on board now. Now they're going to help the government and reunite the children.
And understand what
so nice of them.
Understand what the policy is with Central American children and immigrants. The policy is that they separate the children from the parents, and then they look for a relative to locate the children, to house the children until the parents' case is adjudicated. This is why they're spread across the country for people who were unclear about, how they're winding up in New York and Michigan and Illinois and elsewhere. So that's been the policy. That's the law. And it was frankly an amendment that was authored by Dianne Feinstein a decade ago. So just, some infusion of an actual discussion of the law here, I think, is always useful. Not that it's the end-all, be-all. It's the basis. It's the start of the discussion. Well, this is the law, and then the discussion should be, is the law proper? Does it reflect our mores? Is it sensible? We can have that conversation, but at least let's understand what the baseline is.
And also, too, people should remember about 5% are here without any parents at all. Their parents gave money to a mule to take their kids across Mexico into the United States.
Yeah, and you have all kinds of instances documented where MS-13 gang members posed as minors, used kids to enter the U.S. illegally. So there is a legitimate border security, physical safety threat posed by illegal immigration. I know this is sort of it should not be a controversial statement, but the hysteria that's being generated by the left and their handmaids in the D.C. press corps, it is a controversial statement. By Mike McCall, Homeland Security Committee chairman in the House, was on with Chris Wallace over the weekend, and he talked about the efforts to reunify children with parents.
When are they going to be reunited with their parents?
I think it's a very difficult thing to do, and they're going to have to bring them back to the border where they should have been in the first place.
So we're talking weeks or months?
And be with their parents who violated the law, reunite them at the family center, and then go forward with the removal proceedings. But, Chris, as it exists now under the Flores decision, after 20 days, they are released into society. And these could be dangerous people. I'm not saying they all are. I think the children, because of HHS, they're put into their custody and transferred somewhere else in the country.
And in addition to McCall explaining how this actually works, and former Obama Homeland Security Jay Johnson describing the same policy that he supported and that they expanded under Obama, against that backdrop of trying to have a sensible conversation on this topic, you have this from the D.C. press corps. And this op-ed in Politico. I mean, listen, it is rare when you get a full appreciation for how unserious the D.C. press corps is in covering these issues. Rare when it crystallizes in a singular op-ed, but that's just what you have here. Stephen Miller, who is, of course, an advisor to the president, and particularly on immigration-related policy, is the target of this op-ed. I sat on the other side of Stephen Miller's first wall. Are you ready for this? This is from a third-grade classmate of Stephen Miller.
A third grade?
Third grader.
Oh, yeah, because how close are we to those we went to third grade with? Okay.
It was the year he sat next to me in third grade, Stephen Miller's first wall. It's hard to say how much a kid's behavior in third grade can really tell you about the inner workings of his soul. But this guy,
Dear Lord,
this guy Jack Schaefer is going to look into Stephen Miller's soul anyway.
Can you even name somebody you went to third grade with?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got Peter Bells and John Berta. What do you got?
Did you end up going to prom with both of them?
I know, but I ended up in several classes with them in Indian Grove and middle school and junior and high school.
I can name probably the entire third grade class.
Oh my gosh! No. You probably even know your third grade teacher. Who was it? I know who mine was. Mine was Miss Zimberoff.
Mrs. Martin.
Okay. All right. So okay, you can sort of relate to the story, but I wouldn't say if anyone would be building a wall in third grade, metaphorically, a wall around himself, Dan.
In third grade. Yes, exactly. Let me in, Stephen. Did you ever look into a fellow third grader's soul?
No, I didn't. I was reading books.
Mr. Schaefer continues.
Okay, I can't wait to hear this.
Surely the well-documented indicators of Miller's alt-right beginnings in middle school, high school, and college have less impressionistic connections to his current behavior, but here is what I remember. Because of our last name, Stephen and I shared a desk.
Oh, boy, here we go.
We were not friends, though we were not exactly enemies either. He goes on to say, it was difficult to make Stephen laugh. This
feels dirty. And
well, it's like a forlorn love or something. Right. It's so bizarre.
The friendship that got away.
I found him difficult to reach at all. Boy, this was a very introspective third grader, I got to tell you. And so it seemed did everyone else. How can we get to Stephen? Said the third graders.
Stephen, talk to someone. An ABC after school special.
Exactly. He was especially obsessed with tape and glue.
Oh my God.
This is how it starts.
Was he sniffing the glue? And taping other people's mouths shut? That would be a problem, but okay.
Tape
glue.
and glue are gateway products to xenophobia. Everyone knows this. Along the midpoint of our desk, Stephen laid down a piece of white masking tape, explaining that it marked the boundaries of our size and that I was not to cross it.
That's awesome. Well, you don't want anybody's germs.
The formality of this struck me as odd. I was a fairly neat kid, at least in school, and I never spread my things to his side of the desk. Stephen, what are you doing to us? Stephen, meanwhile, could not have been much messier. His side of the desk was sticky and peeling, littered with scraps of paper, misshapen erasers, and pencil nubs. The horror of this.
Pencil nubs.
This is exactly what's happening at the border right now.
Pencil nubs.
We should have asked Mike
There's
Gallagher.
not even a band named Pencil Nubs.
That would have been a good band name.
Pencil Nubs.
What are the metaphorical? Well, pencil nubs are a metaphor for
For
what
what?
on the border? I wonder. This is so deep. If this adhesive division kept Stephen on his side of the desk, I was all for it. As unfriendly as it seemed, why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends?
But instead, the tape became an attractive nuisance. Stephen picked at it with his fingernails methodically in a mixture of absent-mindedness and what seemed like channeled hostility. The anger was bubbling up in young Stephen. You shall not cross.
My masking tape line.
He concludes, does Jack Schaefer, because I can't take any much more of this than I'm sure you can.
This is perfect.
It is at least poetic that Stephen was bent on building a nonsensical wall even back then, a wall that had more to do with what lay inside him than what lay beyond. He thought he was trying to keep out the chaos of the world when really he was looking for a way to explain away the chaos on his own side of the desk. For that was where chaos had always been. Politico running this. This is supposed to be like a serious outlet for the coverage of political and policy.
And they
politics and policy.
Stephen Miller's third grade classmate.
I mean, are you kidding me?
I could never write that about anybody I went to school with because I didn't really have time to stare into their soul.
You know where this started, though. This is not Stephen Miller's fault.
No.
It's the Brady Bunch.
Oh, why?
Peter.
Love the Brady Bunch.
Peter
What a
and
Peter.
Bobby Brady.
Oh, the wall in their bedroom, right? You don't cross this part of my
They are the originators of the alt-right xenophobic movement that has led us to this dastardly place.
You're just doing that to bug me. I'm doing it because I happen to like nuts. If it bugs you, leave the room.
It's as much mine as it is yours.
Hey, then you do your thing over there, and I'll do my thing over here. And just so there won't be any misunderstanding. This is your part of the room. This is my part of the room. This is no man's land.
I just like the music.
Great, I
Visualize
love
it.
music.
Sherwood Shorts was a genius.
The musical score.
They're trying to annoy each other on each side of the border. It's like Vicente Fox and Donald Trump in the same room.
Hey, plug that back in. It's my TV set.
It's my outlet, and you want to know something else?
I can't hear you through no man's land.
We better listen a lot harder, because this will really interest you.
What?
The bathroom's on my side of no man's land.
So you have Peter and Bobby Brady spat that informed generations to explain Stephen Miller, to explain away Trump administration border policy. John in Palatine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, great sound effects that brought back some good memories on this Monday morning. But were you reading from Jim Comey's book?
Oh. Or were you reading from 50 Shades of
Nice job.
Grey?
Jim
That's
Comey's book. Yeah, Higher Loyalty. I mean, it might as well have been Jim Comey's book, actually. It's kind of funny. Maybe Jack Schaefer is a Jim Comey pseudonym, and he's just pretending he went to third grade with Stephen Miller. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer, anonymous person.
Hey. Hello. Remember Les Nessman from WKRP, and he had the tape down in the imaginary door? I think he's the one that started this.
It's true. Was it Les Nessman or Bobby and Peter? Which came first? Scholars debate.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, why my Uber rating is so low. I got to the bottom of it. But first, here's your forecast. Enjoy today. Plenty of sunshine. A high of 78 degrees. Then tonight, some heavy thunderstorms are going to be rolling through here. And tomorrow, thunderstorms. There could be strong ones, bringing flooding and damaging high winds. A high tomorrow of 80 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Where is it busy out there? Here's Jim Telemonte with the answer.
Well, Amy, as is often the case Monday morning at this time, lots of Uber drivers, cab drivers, and others are on their way to O'Hare on the outbound Kennedy, especially heavy past Montrose. It's an hour to get from downtown to the airport. The delays actually start in California. Inbound, it's 44 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Eden's 20 minutes, like Cook Junction, outbound 28. Inbound Eisenhower, 51 minutes, 390 to downtown. 36 from Manheim. Outbound 40 minutes to 390. There's a crash at Austin to the left lane. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 42 minutes. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound heavy, 21 to 137. Northbound from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Slight delays in the Adams and Reagan Tollways approaching the Tri-State. Northbound Veterans Memorial slow in pockets from Boughton to St. Charles. Northwest Indiana's fine. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Protecting data across modern decentralized networks presents challenges that traditional backup solutions can't handle. At best, you'll waste time and money managing multiple solutions. At worst, gaps in coverage will leave your data vulnerable. Barracuda Backup is a single cloud-integrated solution that simplifies the backup process and allows data replication to anywhere on your network, a private cloud, Barracuda's cloud, or to the AWS public cloud. Reclaim your data. Try Barracuda Backup free at barracuda.com/backup.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
When you conceal carry, you want to carry responsibly, safely, and with confidence. You want UltiClip. UltiClip was designed out of necessity. Traditional holster clips fail in performance, losing their retention or breaking. With UltiClip, you get the ultimate carry solution that replaces standard holster clips and features a smaller visible footprint than other clips. The patented design gains over 10 times the holster retention for better security and maximum concealment. Plus, UltiClip features the first multi-purpose tool and clip combo. And UltiClip UltiClip isn't just for holsters. It can also be used for knife sheaths. Police departments are using UltiClip to secure their body cameras, badges, and other equipment. Stop wasting money searching for the right holster when you can upgrade and improve your current holster with UltiClip. Proudly made in the USA from Spring Steel and named Gear of the Year by Gun Digest. Go to ulticlip.com to shop and learn more about ways you can use the best retention clip available. That's ULTIClip.com. Ulticlip.com for ultimate retention and concealment.
Chicagoland Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com. He's one of us. He gets it. That's one of the things I think that separates you from others in a very competitive marketplace, Ryan. Why is thehomeloanexpert.com the place to go to buy or sell your home?
I'll give you a couple of things that really separate the Home Loan Expert office from all these other mortgage lenders. First of all, it's the way we take care of our clients. 15 years ago, when I was knocking on doors, trying to start up the Home Loan Expert and get in the business, I sat down at people's kitchen tables and I talked to them. And one of the biggest frustrations people had was they just didn't trust mortgage lenders. They felt like they were shoved into loans. So we don't do that. We offer customer service that nobody else can match. And, of course, lower rates on better loans. And we do all types of loans. We do the VA loans. Heck, we close VA loans in 14 days. Nobody else does that. We do jumbo loans, cash-out loans, FHA loans. We can do a loan for about anybody. Heck, we have a bank statement mortgage. We don't even need your tax returns or pay stubs. Thinking about refinancing, now's a great time. 5 minutes can save you $500 a month. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Who is Joe Donnelly really working for? As a U.S. Senator, we pay him $174,000 a year. So, Donnelly's taxpayer-funded salary is almost 3 times more than a typical Hoosier family makes. But that wasn't enough for Donnelly. Donnelly took more. His family business got caught outsourcing jobs to Mexico. Mexico Joe profited up to $80,000. And a past safety inspection of Donnelly's family business found serious safety violations that put its Hoosier workers in danger. A 6-figure taxpayer-funded salary. His family's business caught outsourcing jobs to Mexico, risking American jobs. Mexico Joe Donnelly profits with tens of thousands. Vote no on Mexico Joe. He's just not working for Indiana. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, good guys with guns don't get enough profile, so they will always get profile here on this show. This should be a national story. The story, and we didn't get to it last week, so I want to make sure we do. This is the story of David George, who is a pastor. He's a volunteer firefighter in a suburb of Seattle. He received active shooter training, and he had to put it to use in a Walmart parking lot when confronted by a convicted felon who was on a carjacking rampage. Here's what happened, Pastor George.
George described the chaotic Sunday afternoon when he and his family were shopping about 60 miles south of Seattle.
As a volunteer firefighter, I have also received active shooter training. I was sure that what I heard was gunshots.
Police say 44-year-old Tim Day went on a shooting and carjacking spree. He tried to carjack a couple in the parking lot, critically shooting the driver. George says he then saw Day try to carjack another person, and that's when he shot and killed him.
I carry a firearm for the same reason that I carry a first aid bag, hoping never having to use them, but always being prepared nonetheless.
George is a local pastor and volunteer firefighter and EMT who rushed to help the injured driver, Ricky Feevey. Feevey's son says the Good Samaritan's quick actions saved his dad's life.
That bystander who shot him, is a hero. That guy could have killed both my parents and plus plenty more people.
Good Samaritan with a gun knows how to use it and is prepared to. And this is instructive for, law-abiding families in Chicago, denizens of Chicago out and about with the civilian political authority having lost control of this city and so many other urban centers, but particularly Chicago, as we know.
That is so sad that it wasn't on CNN or NBC Nightly News or
right, but
ABC.
But you'll get the gun control advocates from Parkland everywhere, all the time.
They're on tour, It's the summertime. They've got 23 stops.
Yeah, literally, right.
Yeah.
But this is what we're talking about when we talk about responsible gun ownership, when we talk about protecting yourself and others. This is the story that should be profiled, not frankly, the children of Parkland.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, is it time to move the Gay Pride Parade downtown like everyone else's?
And how many gender choices do you have on the LSAT exam?
Oh, I can't wait to take that test. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 62. Senator Marco Rubio this morning says he understands why some families are crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. Speaking to reporters after visiting the Homestead, Florida detention facility, the senator says it's not just about keeping families together.
It's not just housing together, but housing people in conditions that are safe and nurturing.
Senator James Langford blamed the Obama administration for the nation's ongoing immigration crisis on NBC's Meet the Press.
You go back to 2013, there were about 15,000 families that were coming illegally into the United States as a family unit. Now we're up to 89,000 families a year that are coming at the United States as a family unit.
Senator Langford insists officials know the whereabouts of every detained child and are working for ways to find a quick solution to reunite families while ensuring parents attend scheduled court dates. President Trump heading to South Carolina today to back Governor Henry McMaster ahead of Tuesday's runoff election. Wildfire burning out of control threatens hundreds of buildings in Northern California. It's the Pawnee Fire. North Carolina's so-called bathroom law goes before a federal judge today. U.S. District Court in Raleigh will hear arguments that the law discriminates against the transgendered in that state. North Carolina lawmakers passed that measure to replace a 2016 law that set off some protests. There's a new report this morning that finds Milwaukee police destroyed DNA evidence from 50 homicide cases in the 1990s, some of which were open and unsolved. Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reports the justification was to make room in a storage facility. Police officials admit they did not consult with the Milwaukee County DA and did not provide a list of cases impacted to prosecutors after the action was taken. 2 men are in custody after a high-speed police chase and crash on the Eisenhower Expressway on Chicago's west side. Officials were chasing a stolen vehicle when it slammed into another car and an IDOT truck near Racine Avenue. 2 are dead following an apparent murder-suicide. It happened in the parking lot of an Orland Park restaurant. Bail set at $100,000 for a suburban man accused of beating a dog over the weekend in the West Englewood neighborhood. Prosecutors say a city-issued camera captured Isaac Goodlow punching, kicking, and choking the canine Saturday near 61st and Ashland. A father and his 2 teenage children were rescued Sunday morning after their kayaks overturned in the fast-moving DuPage River and they became stranded. Reds rally past the Cubs 8-6. White Sox handled the A's 10-3 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Sky and their 6-game losing skid with a win over the Mercury. The news, a service of InvisibleFence.com. If you'd rather spend time cuddling your pets than training them, leave the training to Invisible Fence brand. Their technology and trainers can teach any pet to respect safe boundaries and schedule your free quote today at InvisibleFence.com for $150 off your customized solution. InvisibleFence.com. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I am a Trump supporter.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Now, I am a Trump supporter who will freely criticize the president when I think he's done wrong. And done wrong can be sending out a stupid tweet, raising taxes, or supporting amnesty. Can be anything. It's the issues to me. And when President Trump does something that does not advance those issues, I'll call him out on it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee, period. With $226 million in dividends declared since inception, Their record speaks for itself. At Mag Mutual, one of the leading providers of medical professional liability insurance, you're more than a policyholder, you're a policy owner. As an owner, they believe you should benefit from your company's success, which is why they strive to return as much as they can back to their policy owners. Mag Mutual policyholders have received annual dividends every year since 2007, and they are continually looking for ways to provide greater value to policy owners in the practice, business, and regulation of medicine. In addition, they set aside millions on their financial statements exclusively for their Owner Circle loyalty program. Over 20,000 physicians and healthcare organizations are currently benefiting from Mag Mutual ownership. Are you? Visit them on the web at magmutual.com.
For more information about Mag Mutual in Illinois, please contact Jim Nelson at RT Nelson at 630-990-4220 or by email at jnelson@rtnelson.com. Visit their website at rtnelson.com.
It is 7:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Tri-State Tollway southbound. It's heavy from 21 to 137. There is some road work in that area. Tri-State northbound has delays. Sibley to 127th after a crash. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan Tollway on the ramp to northbound 355 got a crash. And it's heavy farther east, 22nd of the Tri-State. Northbound Veterans Memorial slow in pockets from Bowden to St. Charles. Edens is 20 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 28. Kennedy, 41 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound it's an hour to O'Hare. Eisenhower, 56 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 52. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour and 6 minutes to Crash at Central. Ryan, 33 minutes, 95th to downtown, traffic service of InvisibleFence.com. Want your pet to learn safe boundaries? You need Invisible Fence brand. The secret is their award-winning technology and perfect training protocols taught by certified trainers. Schedule your free quote today at InvisibleFence.com for $150 off your customized solution. InvisibleFence.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Partly sunny and nice. We'll top out at 78 today. Heavy storms could develop overnight, low 65. In Chicago, we have sunshine. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This weekend apparently was the Gay Pride Parade. And for the 49th year in a row, I did not attend, even though I'm not 49.
Really? Okay. Why? You've never been to a gay pride parade? Ever?
No.
Yeah. Well, you don't like parades to begin with.
True.
Whether it's a gay pride parade, Irish parade.
When I ran for
parade.
governor, you know how many parades I participated in?
How many?
0.
0? Okay.
It's such like a waste of time and resources for, and plus people don't want to see politicians at parades. So you want to take your kids to the parade to see the fire engine or something like that, fine. I don't want to be in a parade. I don't want to see politicians in a parade. I don't want to see politicians as a matter of course. And so I led by example by not participating.
Well, again, it was quite the scene on the north side in Boys Town.
Everyone be free. Love is love always.
Love is love always.
I just love to be in the ambiance of happiness, love, and acceptance.
Yeah.
It's overflowing. It's overflowing. I just embody it.
Embody it.
I'm just so excited.
150 floats. There were decorated vehicles, performance groups. This year's theme, Dan, remembering the past, creating the future.
Remembering the past. Great. And I understand that the Grand Marshal was, again, this year, Big Gay Al.
I'm super. Thanks for asking. All things considered, I couldn't be better, I must say. I'm feeling super. No, nothing bugs me. Everything is super when you're, don't you think I look cute in this hat?
That's festive.
No, I always say it's a great day to be gay. That's, why people come down and celebrate.
You always say that?
That's what they always say every
Oh.
time. It's a great day to be
Oh.
gay. People wear flamboyant, off-the-chart costumes.
I think acceptance, just embracing everybody as one, because if we don't do that, what is living for? If you can't even do that.
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about.
My point of contention is this. We, as a resident, are held hostage.
Here it goes.
Nope.
Oh, no.
We are held hostage in our neighborhood because things shut down early. So we can't get out of our neighborhood unless we drive a mile out to the highway, to 90-94, to the Kennedy. We can't get back in because Belmont's closed at Lake Shore. Addison's closed. Irving Park's closed. Montrose is closed. Wilson was closed. And even parts of Lawrence were closed yesterday because they had 150 floats, so they had to stretch out into our trip.
All
It
right.
is a safety issue.
Yeah.
I just want to know, why can't the Gay Pride Parade be like every other single parade in the city? Every parade now is held on Balboa Drive near Columbus.
No, it's Southside Irish Parade.
Well, that's whatever. That doesn't draw 1 million plus people like the Gay Pride Parade is.
Well, all right.
It is a safety issue. It's disgusting. All of our police officers, all the resources are there.
First of all,
And I'm not homophobic.
First of all, for the shame mob, I am not signed on to this proposal to move the parade. So please direct your
why? 'Cause it'd be
ire
by
at
your
Amy.
house?
Number one. Number two, this show is not your personal platform to prosecute local grievances for you and your liberal friends from Lakeview.
312-642-5600. Should the Gay Pride Parade be like 95% of the parades, and that is taken downtown because it is a safety issue.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Then there's garbage everywhere. There's vomit. The worst part
Ew.
was yesterday. By the time we finally
Please
got
let it be urine.
near the Jacobson household, there was a woman with her flappy pancakes things hanging out.
Whoa, hello.
And she had put in a Sharpie, black Sharpie, X's over the Tite part of the boobies.
Okay.
And her flappies were just hanging out there. And poor little Eli said, "Oh, Mom, look. Oh, my gosh. She's naked." And I turned and I looked.
And
I said, yes, and that should be covered up. I mean, nobody needs to see that. It's like 12-year-old boys. I just think bring it downtown like everybody else.
Wait till they're 50-year-old men.
But, of course, Mayor Emanuel was there.
Well,
This is not only a time to reflect, but a time to renew our commitment to
It's
inclusion.
a time
It
every
took recommit.
it's time. Yeah, turn. There is a season. Right. I got it. So here's the thing. I think it's ideal. The nice thing the parade provides for young men like Eli is you get to see what a grown man looks like wrapped in saran wrap and nothing else. And I think that's a real educational opportunity. You get to see a Bruce Rauner walk around in buttless chaps. You get to see a J.B. Pritzker with a diaper and a bonnet on.
J.B. Pritzker was there. Wasn't wearing a diaper or bonnet. Other people were, though. And then white
Well,
Speedos.
sure, of course they are.
White
It's
Speedos
de
with
rigueur.
potato spuds in there to, make it look bigger than it is. But Pritzker
The
was
potato?
The potato spud.
Ralph and Rantoul, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Amy, maybe baby carrots.
Sure.
I'm wondering when Big Candy is going to take their slogan back. I want Taste the Rainbow reclaimed by Skittles. I also think that when you have that, like Amy, you were talking about your boys being subjected to public nudity. If people did that in parks, I think they get arrested for indecent exposure and they get put on the sex offender list for a few years.
Yes.
So why it's tolerated in a parade on a float, maybe it's the rainbow and the pom-poms and, well, all that pride that's out there. So
Thanks.
It's a little too bad.
I got
Thanks for the call, Ralph. By the way, and
text.
tolerance and acceptance and all that, by the way, Chick-fil-A, get out of this city.
I just got a text from one of my law enforcement friends that, Amy, there were fights all over the place. 300 at Hamlin Park alone.
Yeah, but they're slap fights.
Nothing on the news.
Yeah, but
nothing on the news.
Yeah, but I mean, they're like slap fights.
No, silly. No, you stop it. No, you stop it.
Yeah.
You silly little filly. Speaking of filly, here's Pritzker. And by the way, as if the Candyman couldn't get any bigger, Have you seen the full frontal body shot on
Was-
Pritzker lately?
Was he
He's like in Chris Christie territory.
was he passing out fudge along the parade route?
I don't know. He was walking, though.
There he is on the parade route.
He did buy almost $800 of candy from a candy store in Chicago, but nobody's talking about
Fudge.
that. Fudge, right.
Yeah, that's his preference.
Here's Fudge Man.
Feels like great progress to have so many politicians of both parties engaged in this. But I must say, many of them are late to the party here,
Yeah.
late to the fight.
That's
Oh,
right.
they're late to the fight.
Spalding was wearing a G-string at the Gay Pride Parade before it was cool.
Governor Ronner was there with his wife beaming behind him.
It's a great tradition. Today we celebrate equality.
Yeah.
Gay!
You ever seen a grown man naked?
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Forecast for today, beautiful sunshine as they clean up from the Gay Pride Parade and get rid of all those porta potties and the garbage off the streets. High of 78 degrees. Again, I'm not homophobic. Tonight, heavy
Things the
thunderstorms.
homophobe says.
Thunderstorms. And then tomorrow, some strong thunderstorms that could bring some damaging high winds and possible flooding, a high near 80 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. How are the roads near Broadway, Sheridan, Grace Street? How's it going, Jim?
Well, Amy, good morning. Good morning, Dan. Right now, things are fine on Lakeshore Drive in that area. Nothing's closed. There is a little bit of a delay now on the outer drive, but it's farther south from Fullerton to North Avenue. Northbound a little tight from the Stevenson to Jackson, but it's nothing unusual. And we don't have any closures of city streets right now, as most of the neighborhood festivals are all wrapped up after the weekend. The Edens inbound is just a little heavy. Wilson to Montrose, just a 1-minute delay. Outbound slow Montrose to Toohey. It's 28 minutes to get from the Kennedy to Lake Cook. Kennedy, 41 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, it's an hour to the airport. Eisenhower, 58 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound, 52. Stevenson outbound past Central. There was a car fire. It's out. Damage is done. It's an hour and 15 minutes. Lakeshore Drive, 355. Inbound, it's an hour and 8 minutes. The Ryan, 33 minutes. 95th to downtown. Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, you know what? I forgot about this. Hey, turn on the next gen.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you. I'm bigger than you. I'm higher in the food chain. Get in my belly. Come on.
That apropos of something, or are we just playing drop?
We're just talking about Pritzker. All right, I'll stop fat shaming. All right, I've told you how the MyPillow mattress topper's 3 unique layers of comfort evenly supports your body weight. It helps relieve those pressure points and keeps your body temperature regulated all night, not too cold or hot. And don't wait to get yours, because in June, you can save 30%. Plus, when you buy a mattress topper at a discount, you can also get 2 free standard MyPillows. That's an unbelievable offer. 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off that mattress topper. Or get 1 low price on 2 MyPillows and receive free shipping, but you have to use the promo code Amy. There's a 10-year warranty on pillows and mattress toppers and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go online or call now for these great deals and others, including 30% off pet beds, sheets, and more. Call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
What I suffer from is anxiety, along with depression. But I feel the anxiety triggers depression more times than not. My first experience with HPR was my initial interview. It was welcoming. It felt very good. I saw results pretty much immediately. Even after my first treatment, I felt different than when I came in. I think HPR could work for pretty much anyone. I think that what HPR has done for me was awaken a part of my brain that either stopped working or never worked. I think everybody can benefit from HPR. I'm Alex, and HPR Treatments has helped save my life.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
Protecting data across modern decentralized networks presents challenges that traditional backup solutions can't handle. At best, you'll waste time and money managing multiple solutions. At worst, gaps in coverage will leave your data vulnerable. Barracuda Backup is a single cloud-integrated solution that simplifies the backup process and allows data replication to anywhere on your network, a private cloud, Barracuda's cloud, or to the AWS public cloud. Reclaim your data. Try Barracuda Backup free at barracuda.com/backup.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Looking to refinance your existing mortgage and want the lowest rates and lowest closing costs? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Other lenders boast about having low closing costs, which is like me saying I look good in a pair of 32-inch pants. Truth is, other lenders' closing costs are substantially higher than Team Hochberg's closing costs, and I haven't fit into a pair of 32-inch pants in over 40 years. Compare Team Hochberg's closing costs against any other lenders, and if our closing costs aren't lower, I'll donate to Veterans Roasters, an organization who hires homeless veterans to roast coffee, and an organization Team Hochberg already financially supports. When securing a mortgage, you can either work with a lender whose definition of low closing costs are over $1,000 higher than ours, or you can call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
AM 560, The Answer.
And you know what? I want to tell you, my friends that are gay cannot stand the gay pride parade because they said it perpetuates this stereotype that they're all, half naked, wear makeup. Like, real gay people don't wear makeup. Like,
well,
okay.
some real gay people do, but the idea, it's a caricature. So, there's not gay professionals and people that would never be seen engage in the antics that are on display at the parade. No doubt about it.
Also, a text message saying this begins right after the parade. It happens every year. It's disgusting. People are passed out. The parade has to be moved to Columbus Drive.
I have an alternate suggestion from a texter. Hold the parade in Inglewood or Austin. 1, it would move much faster. 2, could be promoted as economic development. 3, there would be some real fights in the parks. I think that's a good one. Sean from Elmwood Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
First of all, Amy, tell your lesbian friends from the North Shore I dig it. Number 2, Prof, how are you possibly going to pick out Louis Gutierrez, Rahm Emanuel, and Chewy Garcia at the Gay Pride Parade? What are they, on the Willy Wonka factory float with their crotchless jumpsuits on?
Yeah.
Come on. And the Cook County Commissioner?
They have
Wiggley's there, too. But.
Their Speedos are a reflective of their national heritage. So, Louis Gutierrez has the Puerto Rican flag.
Did you say Quigley's there, too? Of course he is.
Quigley's
Him and Pete Silvestri are on the unicorn with the Pat Benatar bandanas on. Of course they're there. It's one giant freak show. I love it. But I'm born in the late 60s, Prof. All of you people born after me look gay. Look across at the producers. It looks like a naked twister contest to me in there. Just the lesbians. Let's separate it so I could tune in, okay?
All right. Thanks for the call, Sean. Though you may want to tune in a little
might
closer to... Yeah, well... All right. going to switch gears. Canada is making some history, and that's not something we can often say.
Why? Because they've legalized marijuana.
That's exactly
Marijuana.
why. The only the second country in the world and the first G7 nation to legislate move legislation to permit a nationwide marijuana market. I mean, 9 states and the District of Columbia allow it in this country, and it's becoming, more accepted. More states are coming online. Illinois probably not far behind, but nationally in Canada. And so our friend Robert Badgley wrote a new Canadian national anthem.
Oh, he did?
Now he's a lyricist. He's sort of the captain to my Tennille. And so
Donnie to your Marie.
I would like to now sing this for you if I could.
Oh, dear, you're going to sing? Everybody, please turn up your radios.
The new Canadian national anthem in honor of national marijuana legalization in Canada. Cannabis, our new national leaf. True patriot buds to counter our ennui. As eyebrows fall from Trudeau's face, we chalk it up to weed. Oh, Canada, America's hat, we light a bowl for thee. Pot pay our debts and stoke our GDP. Oh, Canada, we light a bowl for thee.
A bowl for thee.
Oh, Canada, we light a bowl for thee. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Christian Faith Publishing helps thousands of authors publish their books with a company dedicated to strong Christian values.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
It all starts with our free author submission kit. Call 800-566-1012. We'll edit, design, copyright protect, print, and distribute books online and in bookstores everywhere. You'll see your books in Christian bookstores, Amazon, iTunes, Barnes & Noble, and many others. If you have a biography, novel, devotional, self-help, or other inspirational work, we get it published. We provide professional book editing, award-winning design, with the highest royalty structure in the industry. Plus, you retain 100% rights to your work. Get your book published today. Call for your free author submission kit at 800-566-1012. That's 800-566-1012. 800-566-1012.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I'm getting a lot of positive reaction to my pipes. I can tell.
Oh, my, already? The phone
Justin's
lines have opened up, and you're getting all these text messages.
Justin's a little jealous. Let's be.
Wait. You know what? I think your agent's on line 1.
Desmond Clark.
Oh, your new best friend?
Yeah, I mean, the tight end great from the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Just tweeted, my man, that's me. I'm his man. You hear that? Was just singing live on the radio. Be happy you missed it. He's obviously he's just having fun at my expense.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because you did such a great job.
Well, I do appreciate
Oh,
Rob Badgley for the lyrics.
Yeah,
those lyrics
those
were
were
very
creative.
good.
But did you take music class?
Obviously.
Oh, obviously not. Your timing's a little off.
Yeah, I was.
And you need to extend your head voice and expand your diaphragm.
It's been
more
a
when
little
you're singing.
while since I auditioned to be a tenor with CSO, so I'm a little rusty. But you see the talent, you hear
Right.
the talent.
Well, and you're coachable, so that's what
That's
matters.
right.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, what are we doing?
Conservatives need not apply for dining privileges at the Red Hen. We'll talk about that at 8:08.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
An apparent murder-suicide outside of an Orland Park restaurant. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Why won't the Department of Justice and the FBI turn over requested documents? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tweeted that question again, calling the probe into his campaign in Russia a witch hunt, as Republicans again put the DOJ on deadline today this time to turn over documents they demand.
Did you or did you not run informants into the Trump campaign, especially before the investigation even began?
That's Devin Nunes. He chairs the House Intel Committee. Not satisfied with documents handed over so far, the FBI says it has substantially complied. President Trump tweeted again about his much criticized claim that Trump Tower was under surveillance by the Obama administration. He wrote that former Attorney General Mukasey says he's probably correct about that. The president also weighed in on the controversy surrounding a restaurant that refused to serve his press secretary. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The president tweeting the Red Hen restaurant should focus more on cleaning its filthy canopies, doors, and windows badly needs a paint job rather than refusing to serve a fine person like Sarah Huckabee Sanders. The Red Hen's owner said the restaurant has certain standards that I feel it has to uphold, such as honesty and compassion and cooperation. In a tweet after the Friday night incident, Sanders said the owner's actions say far more about her than about me. Dave?
On John, Democrats keep pushing the Trump administration to quickly reunite children separated from parents prosecuted for coming to the U.S. illegally. The Senate's Minority Leader Chuck Schumer wants a czar appointed to oversee it. The president insists those trying to come in be sent back. A zero-tolerance policy independent Senator Angus King doesn't think works on people fleeing violence in Central America. He tells NBC.
If you're looking down the barrel of a gun in your home community, whatever your chances are to get to a free country, you're going to take it in order to save your family's lives.
And moments ago, the president tweeted, again, we must build the wall. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
In Chicago, we have mostly sunny skies, 65 degrees, at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 men are in custody, and it follows a high-speed police chase and crash on the Eisenhower Expressway. Authorities say officers were chasing a stolen vehicle early this morning on I-290. It slammed into another car in an IDOT truck near Racine. Authorities are busy following a violent weekend in Gary, Indiana. 12 were shot, including 2 men and a teenage girl yesterday near 5th and Grant. The trio were inside of a vehicle at the time of the shooting. 2 are dead following an apparent murder-suicide in the parking lot of an Orland Park restaurant. Police say the man shot and killed a woman outside of the restaurant on LaGrange Road before turning the gun on himself. Another new crop of police officers are hitting the streets of Chicago. Mayor Emanuel announcing yesterday that just over 100 new officers were being deployed across the city. The latest immigration protest in central Illinois had hundreds of people rallying at a hotel where they believe ICE agents have stayed in the past. Hundreds of protesters gathered outside of the Drury Inn and Suites in Champaign. They said they wanted to make it clear Champaign-Urbana, in their mind, does not welcome federal immigration officials. Reds rally past the Cubs 8-6. White Sox easily handle the A's 10-3. And at 8:03, it's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here is Carol Zimmer.
From the Fox Business Network. One company getting hit hard by tariffs, Harley-Davidson. The company's stock fell 2.7% in pre-market trading after Harley said European Union tariffs increased to 31%, adding about $2,200 to the average cost of a Harley in Europe. Trade tensions are already high. Now, President Trump reportedly has plans that are likely to make them even higher by prohibiting many Chinese companies from investing in U.S. tech firms and by blocking additional tech exports to Beijing. We've heard a lot about robots taking over human tasks. That's already happening at Cali Burger, where they will start using Flippy, a robot that turns burgers in about 10 of its restaurants. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Carol Zimmer.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Larry Elder Show.
The Larry Elder Show. The economy is doing well. Taxes, stock market, consumer optimism, and something that people on the left continue to underestimate about Trump and Trump's appeal. For the first time, a Republican has, in a full-throated way, gone after the left-wing media.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA. And for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
It's 8:06. Let's get an update on what's happening on the roads this morning. The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Killdeer Quentin is now closed in both directions. White Pine and Cuba Road due to a crash. Edens is fine inbound. Outbound with scattered delays till you get past Tower Road. It's 34 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook. Kennedy inbound delays start at Montrose, 40 minutes. O'Hare to downtown takes longer in the Express. Outbound 46 minutes. Eisenhower, 56 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 54. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound an hour. Ryan, 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound heavy, 21 to 176. Northbound, 87th to 75th. To Stevenson at 47th. From Reagan Tilbury to the Grand Avenue curve. Veterans Memorial slow about most of the way up to Lake Street. Traffic service of Aruba Tourism. Imagine if your daily commute from your beach chair right to the crystal blue Caribbean Sea. It's time for an escape to sunny Aruba. Pop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your Aruba vacation today at Aruba.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today partly sunny, high 78. Cloudy tonight with a heavy late-night thunderstorm around, low 65. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, humid with thunderstorms strong late in the day, which could bring flash flooding and damaging winds, high approaching 80. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
69 at O'Hare, 64 along the lakefront, 67 at Midway. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Opportunity Project. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Here's what I say. No shirt, no shoes, no conservatives, no service. No problem. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Do you have a problem with Lexington, Virginia's Red Hen and their denial of service to Sarah Sanders?
Well, personally, I think it's despicable and it's embarrassing. And I felt bad when I read the story, especially the one that was in the Washington Post where they interviewed Stephanie Wilkinson. You call her Red Wilkinson. She went to Dartmouth, has a BA from Dartmouth, and she has this farm-to-table restaurant it's a very, small setting, 26-seat restaurant. Sarah Sanders was in there with her husband. He made the reservation, so it was under his name. And they had 6 other people with them. And the owner was called by the chef and said, you need to get over here. Sarah Sanders is here, and we don't feel safe.
We got a stage 4 clinger.
We got a stage 4. Yeah, we got a stage 4 clinger. And so she drove over there valiantly to see what was going on so she could see for herself that Sarah Sanders was there.
And she had to conduct a makeshift plebiscite to pass out little shards of paper. Everybody write down yes or no. Sarah Sanders has to go. They voted. The kitchen staff says she has to go. So then she walked out and told Sarah Sanders to hit the skids.
Well, she took her to the patio. She said, excuse me, hi, I'm the owner. Let's go talk on the patio. And she told her that, we don't believe in the same morals. We have different morals.
So get the hell out of here. And Sarah Sanders says, fine, we'll go.
Yeah, but they already had their cheese board out and they drinks ordered.
Whoa.
So they were moving into the ordering stage when she just told her to get up. Now she told the restaurant owner, said, you guys can stay. Sarah has to leave, but they're, pound sand. They just got up quietly and left.
Red Wilkinson told the Amazon Post, I'm not a huge fan of confrontation. I have a business, and I want that business to thrive. However, this feels like a moment in our democracy when people have to make uncomfortable actions and decisions to uphold their morals, calling the actions on immigration of the Trump administration inhumane and unethical. And so, my business, and we don't want to do business with you. Okay.
But the reasoning is so ridiculous. She went on to say more than half of my staff is gay, and Sarah Sanders supported Trump, and not letting transgenders into the military. She also brought up, this community is deeply divided over such issues as Confederate flags. I mean, it's a hot mess.
Well,
is it her? So does Sarah Sanders, and I've asked you this before, and so have our listeners, does she have a lawsuit against?
No, not a legitimate one. No. And this is, of course, happened to Christian Nielsen, the Homeland Security Secretary, last week. She's kind of booed out of a restaurant. She leaves.
Highbrow Mexican restaurant. They came in and shamed her out of there.
Pam Bondi went to see Won't You Be My Neighbor, the documentary on Fred Rogers, and there was a lot of patrons at the theater who said, no, we won't be your neighbor, and we want you to leave the theater. She's the Attorney General of Florida, Trump supporter. She got booed and catcalled out of the theater. There you go.
Wasn't that a President Obama decision, not Pam?
I think they're talking about in the context of immigration. But she's, perhaps suing on Obamacare too, though. You're right. And so she's escorted out of the theater by cops. DHS Deputy Director, issuing a memo over the weekend to Homeland Security personnel saying because of credible threats that we've received, DHS employees should be on sort of high alert with respect to their, with respect to their lives generally, because a lot of public information about DHS employees has been put onto social media, the addresses, so people are doxing DHS employees and the like. So what do you think? Should we pretend to be civil to one another, effort civility, or should we just get this thing on? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. Megan on the south side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, guys. I agree with you, Dan. Let's get it on. And no conservatives should go to that restaurant ever again.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Megan. So, the whole question of should we protest or just patronize other establishments, look for restaurants owned by conservatives, for example, to patronize, as opposed to making a big stink over Red Wilkinson's place. Just don't go to Red Wilkinson's place.
Red Hen.
And what's happened to her Yelp standing?
Oh, it went from, it's at 2 stars right now because people are piling on. People that never have been to the restaurant have a comment to make.
Well, and also, too, you want a restaurant, you're going out to have a family dinner or whatever, going out with friends, going out to dinner. Do you want that to be a place of confrontation? Do you want, if you're a conservative, to fear that somebody in the kitchen may
spit in your food, maybe?
Right. Well, something along those lines. If they find out, since we're kind of looking to brand everybody.
Sarah Sanders tweeted, Saturday because the word had gotten out that she politely left. Her actions say far more about her than about me. I always do my best to treat people, including those I disagree with, respectfully, and will continue to do so.
Linda in Bloomingdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Daniel, I agree with you that patrons, people who own establishments have the right to not serve or whatever, like Sean from Elmwood Park. But isn't that what the brown shirts did? I don't believe in the heckling. I mean, in your face. You mentioned Pam Bondi this morning, and she was on Fox. She was heckled and sworn at and an inch from her face. She said she did not leave. She saw the movie and she left at the door. She came in. She said she would not be bullied.
Oh, well, okay. But, there's video of her, being escorted out by about half a dozen police officers as people are screaming at her.
That's true. That was when it was over.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks for the call, Linda. Appreciate it. One potentially beneficial result of all of this, as the Wall Street Journal opines today, how to reelect Trump. Oh. We've talked about this on a number of scores, but the left overreach, the hysteria, the fact-free bigot baiting, all you're doing is driving people to Trump. The message, writes the Journal with this Red Hen incident, now you're so deplorable they won't serve you in their restaurants. So it just fans the flames of that whole deplorable brand that Hillary Clinton tagged Trump supporters with. And how did that work out for her? John on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning. I just want to make sure I'm following this argument. Our president's Donald Trump. This guy holds rallies all around the country where they still talk about the woman that lost the last campaign, telling everyone to lock her up. When she was running, they sold shirts and had chants, "Trump that B, I'm going to be nice on your show." And now we're going to worry about civility and fall on our fainting couch and
no, I'm not. No,
mean liberals.
No, actually, no. No, you're wrong,
okay,
John. So listen.
Then, I'm not following.
Yeah, here's it. Dispense with the false civility. That's what I'm suggesting. Dispense with it. So are you on board for that?
I think you all did that the last.
I'm sorry.
Years.
I'm not going to play the tit for tat. Are you on board with this?
Yes, you are. That's what you're doing.
John, do not interrupt me. Do not interrupt me. I'll let you speak. You're not going to talk over me.
That was rude.
Exactly.
You're not.
So you are going to dispense with the civility because you can't even let somebody else say a sentence and have a discussion because you're an intolerant leftist goof. Thanks for the call, John. How's that for dispensing with the civility? This is exactly what I'm talking about, that exchange. You want to bring it? Let's bring it. You want to get this on? Let's get it on. Straight away. However hard you want to come at me, come right back over you. Right back over the top on you. My point is to say, look, I'm all for debating societies. I could sit around and watch Firing Line for 48 hours straight over a weekend and be, like a pig in slop, okay? But that's not what this is anymore. And yes, is Trump intemperate sometimes, and do you have some silliness happen at his rallies and so forth over the course of a couple of years? Sure. How would you be reacting if people were being thrown out of restaurants and chased out of movie theaters? and it was
That's not
one
a life I want to live in.
one of your leftist icons, John, what would you be saying? That would be exactly what you get from the leftist politicians. The crocodile tears over the lack of civility, but they have no problem. Former CIA director has no problem comparing Trump's immigration policy, which Jay Johnson, the Homeland Security Secretary under Obama, admitted this weekend on Wallace's program is just an extension of the policy they had. No problem does General Hayden have comparing the Trump policy to a death camp at Auschwitz. But you're interested in civility, right? You're interested in high-level discussions. Here's the bottom line, my bottom line on this. This is a street fight. It's a street fight.
Well, then you have Congresswoman, Maxine Waters saying absolutely we should harass White House officials.
Keep going.
Already, you have members of your cabinet that are being booed out of restaurants.
Yay!
Who have protesters taking up at their house.
Yay!
Who's saying no peace, no sleep. No peace, no sleep. And guess what? We're going to win this battle because while you try and quote the Bible, Jeff Sessions and others, you really don't know the Bible. God is on our side.
Yay! And what would a dope like John from the North Side be saying if a Republican had said God is on our side, a conservative said God is on our side, as compared to No Justice, No Peace Maxine, who's celebrating all of these antics and protestations and picketing and doxing and all the like. Anything goes. So I say again, unfortunately, this is not a debating society anymore. This is not John Kenneth Galbraith versus Bill Buckley. I'd be happy if it was, but it's not. And I'm not going to pretend that it is. So you want a street fight, people like John from the North Side and others? Then let's do this. And the reason that Trump has been successful politically is because he's a street fighter. However, unseemly I find him from time to time, he's a street fighter. And the Republican Party, even at the national level, has had generations of cake eaters versus the left street fighters. And that has been, now the battle's been joined, thanks to Trump and Trump supporters, the deplorables who shouldn't be served at restaurants because they're so deplorable and inhumane and intolerant and unethical. You want this fight, just like on college campuses and everywhere else? Then let's have the fight. Let's fight it out. I prefer rhetorically, but if you want to bring it to a different level, then let's bring it to that level. Not a problem. Bill on the North Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. I was listening to Left Wing Radio, I think it was a few months ago when the Supreme Court actually had the ruling on the Baker versus the gay couple in Colorado.
Right.
And just the exact flip around where the left are screaming that how can you deny service to somebody? It's so unethical. And I was listening to left wing media this morning, and they were all proud of this redhead, how she's a patriot and a fighter for democracy. I mean, it's just they're just self-imploding. They don't even have a view anymore.
No, that's right. Thanks for the call.
On CNN this morning, there was a celebratory mood. Like, yes, she got kicked out. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, both sides do a little bit of that Groucho Marx return. These are my routine. These are my principles. If you don't like them, I have others. But, I mean, the leftist hypocrisy is rank. And, again, Jay Johnson over the weekend, he's the only honest man that was apparently a member of the Obama administration. At least he talked turkey with respect to immigration policy, the complications of it, the numbers, the data, what their policy was, the same problems that he had in 2014 you're seeing in 2018. That's it. You can have a conversation with Jay Johnson because he's talking about the substance. If you want to just do the kind of everybody I disagree with is a Nazi routine, or I'm going to come at you in public, then come at me. Come at me in public. Lee and Hammond.
Yeah, Elijah Cummings over the weekend made a comment that Donald Trump created this whole environment because of his nasty disposition during the campaign. I mean, Elijah Cummings, this is the same guy, like, 5-6 years ago at a Tea Party rally, claimed that the Tea Party people spit on him and roughed him up, and when you saw the video, it was a complete lie. These people on the left, they're the brown shirts, they're the agitators. Remember, it was Hillary Clinton that called Trump supporters deplorables?
Right.
And yet they expected that the public is going to be dumb enough to actually believe that the conservative party is the one that's aggressive when they're out there breaking windows and harassing people and beating people up.
Thanks for the call, Lee. Holly and Hudson.
Hey, good morning, you two. I want you to know that this is not limited to Trump staff or Trump administration. I have a daughter who's college shopping, and she's an athlete being recruited in one of the colleges or one of the universities, NYU. And she got on, and she's conservative. She did a little research, and she found out that a whole bunch of liberals or progressives went to the first conservative campus meeting or whatever, took pictures of all the kids that were there, and then proceeded to stand outside their dorm all year, followed them to their cars. They had shifts of people following, screaming at them to their classrooms. They went to the administration. The administration basically said, well, you better change what you think. And so this is not limited to just Trump officials.
No, of
and
course
my daughter's response, Dan, is like yours. She's like, Mom, I'll just square up. And I don't want her to have that experience in college, but I have to tell you, Williams was on her short list until I watched your Zach Wood interview last night, which was fabulous, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, no, and he's a sharp kid. But I'll tell you what, for somebody who has that disposition, it's a great experience to do intellectual battle. That's what I did on the campus of Northwestern. I was hated, but it was a great experience because it just prepares you to do intellectual battle in the real world, too. So I wouldn't necessarily say, you have to go to University of Dallas or Hillsdale. Those are great options, and a few others. But one of these small liberal arts schools where you can, take on the established leftist orthodoxy, it can be a great experience for a kid with the right disposition.
She's dying to do it, so
All right.
I think I'm going to have to let her do it. So I'll get back to you in a year and let you know how it went.
All right. Thanks, Holly.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off the drugs and get rid of the pain. You don't need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He is the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask pain. Find the source and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain. You be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
When you conceal carry, you want to carry responsibly, safely, and with confidence. You want UltiClip. UltiClip was designed out of necessity. Traditional holster clips fail in performance, losing their retention or breaking. With UltiClip, you get the ultimate carry solution that replaces standard holster clips and features a smaller visible footprint than other clips. The patented design gains over 10 times the holster retention for better security and maximum concealment. Plus, UltiClip features the first multi-purpose tool and clip combo. And UltiClip isn't just for holsters. It can also be used for knife sheaths. Police departments are using UltiClip to secure their body cameras, badges, and other equipment. Stop wasting money searching for the right holster when you can upgrade and improve your current holster with UltiClip. Proudly made in the USA from Spring Steel and named Gear of the Year by Gun Digest. Go to ulticlip.com to shop and learn more about ways you can use the best retention clip available. That's ulticlip.com. Ulticlip.com for ultimate retention and concealment.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Everyone needs to make smart financial decisions, and Townstone Financial can help. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. I always say Townstone cares about you more than any other mortgage company. So what if I told you that Townstone talked more people out of completing a reverse mortgage in 2017 than it closed? It's true. So if you've been thinking that a reverse mortgage could benefit your situation, call Townstone today at 312-896-2110. We will walk you through the entire reverse mortgage process until you feel comfortable with the product. In fact, if you've spoken to another mortgage company about a reverse mortgage, give Townstone a call now for a second opinion, because the experts at Townstone will let you know if we think a reverse mortgage is a right product for you or your family member. Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me today, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110, or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage license C 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hollywood chiming in on Trump immigration policy, and it's not all negative. We'll discuss with famed Hollywood screenwriter Andrew Klavan at 8:38.
And later, the real reason behind the low Uber rating. But first, into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
The House expected to vote later this week on a more moderate immigration bill. Partly sunny skies, 67 degrees. This is a so-called compromise bill that includes a path to citizenship for some young immigrants known as Dreamers and an end to the diversity visa lottery system. It limits family-based immigration and puts $25 billion in the bank for President Trump's border wall. Another sign of détente following the summit between leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump. North Korea is skipping one of its most symbolic and politically charged events on its calendar, the annual anti-U.S. imperialism rally, marking the start of the Korean War. A growing wildfire bearing down on hundreds of buildings in Northern California. The Pawnee fire has burned 7,700 acres. People are fleeing the flames. It threatens 600 buildings. Federal judge takes up North Carolina's so-called bathroom law today. A new report finds Milwaukee police destroyed DNA evidence from at least 50 homicide cases in the 1990s, some of which were open and unsolved. Police officials admit they did not consult with the Milwaukee County DA and did not provide a list of cases impacted. Evidence was also destroyed from sexual assault cases. 2 men are in custody following a high-speed police chase and crash on the Eisenhower Expressway early this morning that tangled up commute times and travel on the Ike early this morning. Authorities are busy following a violent weekend in Gary, Indiana. At least 12 were shot, including 2 men and a teen girl yesterday. 2 are dead following an apparent murder-suicide. It happened in the parking lot of a restaurant in Orland Park. Another new crop of Chicago police officers are hitting the streets. Mayor Emanuel announcing yesterday that just over 100 new officers are being deployed around the city. And the FAA is on the scene of a small plane crash that killed 2. The plane went down yesterday about 11 a.m. in a field in Warren County. Reds rally past the Cubs 8-6. Yoan Moncada, home run, driving in 6. White Sox handle the A's 10-3. The news, a service of Compassion International. For just 5 quarters a day, you can sponsor a child through Compassion International. Pocket change to you, life-changing for a child in need. Be part of the change. Become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. compassion.com/radio. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher. The Mike Gallagher Show.
This is the headline at CNN.com. Donald Trump is as popular as he's ever been, parentheses, in one poll. That's the CNN News headline. I've never seen a more biased headline. You know what that one poll is they're referring to? Oh, I don't know, a little organization called Gallup. Oh, my gosh. We are in Crazyville.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Quote, buy and save on home insurance with Progressive's new Home Quote Explorer. Only at Progressive.com.
We're all ready for sunshine, drinks on warm nights with friends, and getting in shape for the summer. Do it all at Riviera Country Club and Sports Center in Orland Park. A 100,000 square foot private facility with affordable fitness and social activities the entire family can enjoy. Keep your workouts fun with 64 aerobic, strength and conditioning, aquatic, and yoga classes, all included with your membership. Work on your jump shot on a full basketball court, your backhand on 2 indoor courts and outdoor clay courts. You can even take a ride on their outdoor water slide and enjoy a few laps in their indoor pools. For mental relaxation, Riviera Country Club and Sports Center offers a men's and women's spa, each with their own sauna, steam room, and whirlpool. Wrap up the day poolside with food and beverages from Gatto's Restaurant and Bar. Call Riviera Country Club and Sports Center now to join, and the first 50 callers get their first month free. Call 708-349-1100 to schedule a tour today. Again, that's 708-349-1100. Riviera Country Club and Sports Center, much more than a health club.
8:35. Let's get an update on the roads now in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy Expressway inbound delays are between Irving Park and the Burns Circle. It's 52 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 40 from Montrose. 35 in the express lanes. They're now a bit quicker. Outbound 13 minutes to Montrose. 38 to O'Hare. Eden's 19 minutes. Lake Cook to Junction. Outbound 29. Von Eisenhower. Delays start at York Road. It's an hour and 5 minutes. 390 to downtown. 38 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 48 to 390. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 43. Orion, 35 minutes, 95 to downtown. All clear on I-57 and the Bishop Ford. Tri-State southbound, slow 21 to 176. And it's heavy from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound slow, the 83rd Street toll to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway tight Highland to Midwest. Veterans Memorial, slow southbound North Avenue to Roosevelt. Northbound 63rd most of the way to Lake Street. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly sunny. Nice. High 78. Heavy thunderstorms develop overnight. Low 65. And some strong storms can be expected tomorrow with a high of 79. Currently 69 at O'Hare, 65 in Aurora. And your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. Company picnics taste better with tastycatering.com.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Chris Wallace found one honest representative of the Obama administration, their former, the president's former Homeland Security Secretary, Jay Johnson, who was on Fox News Sunday, and owned the policy that was extended into the Trump administration until last week's executive order.
Without a doubt, the images and the reality from 2014, just like 2018, are not pretty. And so we expanded family detention. We had then 34,000 beds for family detention, only 95 of 34,000 equipped to deal with families. So we expanded it. I freely admit it was controversial. We believed it was necessary at the time. I still believe it is necessary to maintain a certain capability for families. We can't have catch and release. And in my 3 years, we deported or repatriated or returned over 1 million people.
They went on to have a conversation about catch and release more specifically with Chris Wallace laying out the data and Jay Johnson saying, yeah, catch and release doesn't work. And, here's the problem. So here's the problem. They set up the problem, and now, you, President, Congress, go try and solve it because it's complicated.
The practical result of the program that the Obama administration put in was that you had to release. You caught and had to release some of the people with a promise and sometimes an ankle bracelet that they would come back. I want to put up some numbers on the screen because according to government numbers, 74% of those who were released showed up for their hearings last year. But that still left almost 40,000 people who didn't show up for deportation hearings. So catch and release, which is what the practical effect was under the Obama administration and until this year for the Trump administration, that doesn't really work either, does it?
Well, without a doubt, it's a problem, Chris, which is one of the reasons we expanded family detention, which was controversial. A lot of people
was knocked down by the court. That's the reason we got this 20-day ruling. It was because of the Obama administration's policy.
Well, we expanded family detention. And then we ran into the issue of the Flores case, which you mentioned a moment ago. I disagreed then with the ruling in the Flores case because I think that our Border Patrol and our immigration enforcement people need those tools available to deal with situations like this. But it's a sheer matter of numbers, Chris. Right now, we have family detention capability for about 3,000 or 4,000 people. And you've got over 1,000 migrants crossing the border a day in Central America. And so even if you emptied it out completely today, it would fill back up in a matter of days.
Right. So there's the law, and there's the infrastructure, and there's the influx. Go. Solve it. And frankly, if Jay Johnson was House Minority Leader, Senate Minority Leader, perhaps you could get a deal with Democrats. If Jay Johnson was running a large media organization, perhaps you would have at least a couple of big outlets that weren't fanning the flames of hysteria, that were actually informing people so you could have an intelligent, substantive discussion about that, which has been largely absent.
And I wish the Democrats had an appetite to do something about immigration.
Yeah, they are going to do something. They're going to demagogue it and try to score political points for the purposes of retaking the House. That's what they're going to try and do. It was interesting, this sort of surprising statement coming out of Hollywood. Twin Peaks creator David Lynch saying Trump could go down as one of the greatest presidents in history because he has disrupted the thing so much, referring to the political establishment. No one is able to counter this guy in an intelligent way, said Lynch, who, by the way, voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary. So it's not like he's a conservative necessarily, but he sees sort of what's happening and perhaps how the left is overplaying their hand with nonsense. For more on these and other topics, we're pleased to be joined by another Hollywood star, Andrew Klavan, screenwriter, essayist, author of the book The Great Good Thing, A Secular Jew Comes to Faith in Christ. Andrew, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Well, how did you react to David Lynch's rather surprising comments, at least surprising to me?
Well, I think this is actually filtering through, that is Donald Trump, for the first time in a long time, stands up to this media onslaught. Some of his ideas and some of the things that conservatives represent as told by him are getting through. We know that the system has been broken. We saw last week Chuck Schumer shaking a pen at reporters and basically begging Donald Trump to make law from the executive branch because he basically doesn't want lawmakers to be making laws. I think that Congress has been stuck on this immigration thing for so long that it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to have Congress begging the president to rule by executive order instead of taking on these difficult issues and compromising and coming to an answer. So I think a lot of people look. What the press has been doing this last week is their old playbook. We saw this years ago against George W. Bush with Katrina, where years of corrupt Democrat governance in New Orleans resulted in a disaster during a hurricane, and it was blamed on George W. Bush. And we all remember Kanye West saying George W. Bush doesn't care about black people, and the press standing in stadiums and blaming him for all the blaming Bush for all the things that had resulted from the hurricane that had nothing to do with him. Now we see the same playbook here. We see crying babies, and it doesn't matter where the crying babies come from. If they can find a crying baby, they tell you it's Trump's fault, whereas you just played, this policy has been in place for a long time, and it's been Congress's fault for not dealing with it. So the big difference here, the only difference we're really seeing is when the hysteria is ramped up, when the crying babies are put in front of the camera, when the charges of racism are screamed, instead of backing down, Trump stands up to them and goes on the offensive. And it's actually been pretty remarkable. It's, the polls are sort of showing that Trump has got the people's ear. They're listening. They're saying, well, yeah, we can't have open borders. We do have to do something about it. And it is with the legislative branch to pass law. That's why they call them legislators.
But I think it touched a lot of our heartstrings, as moms, when we saw kids being separated from their parents. Like, how did a mom end up in a jail in Seattle and her son end up at a shelter in New York? Now, I know some were put with family members who are in different states, but some aren't. I mean, they're sent to different shelters.
Yeah, well, Abraham Lincoln said the best way to get rid of a bad law is to enforce it. And I think when you have Chuck Schumer accusing the president of enforcing the law, which is essentially what he's doing, he's saying that if you break the law by coming into this country, which is a misdemeanor the first time you do it and a felony the second time you do it, you're going to be incarcerated. A judge's ruling is that you cannot keep children incarcerated with their parents for longer than a certain period of time, so ultimately they get separated. That's not Trump's fault. I mean, I agree with you, Amy. I think that it's terrible that this is happening. That we need good, compassionate, intelligent immigration law. Law comes out of Congress. That's what their job is. They are the lawmakers. Trump's only job is to execute the law. That's why it's called the executive branch. He's doing that, and it is showing that this law is broken. And I agree with you. The law is broken. But this idea that somehow this is the fault of heartless Republicans, that it's the fault of evil Donald Trump, it's the fault of a Congress which has been sitting on its hands for now 20 years, refusing to deal with this because they don't know how to face their constituents. They haven't got the courage to do their jobs. And I just think that, if all these screaming reporters were standing outside the Capitol and screaming at legislators and saying, hey, when are you going to do your job, instead of this Trump hatred, which is all they've got and something they've been using against Republicans forever, since Reagan. If they would do their jobs and actually research how our laws are supposed to be made, how our government works, how it's not Donald Trump's fault for enforcing the law, it's the legislators for making bad law. They've got to change it. They've got to change it. And look, I don't want to see these children separated either. This is not a matter of pounding the table and saying, forget the children. It's a question of how we make law in this country. This is supposed to be a nation of laws, not a nation of presidents who sign things and issue executive orders like Obama. We don't want a king fixing this. We want our Congress fixing it.
And we don't want a mob driving decision-making. And, of course, we've seen some mob action over the last week, shaming and driving Kristen Nielsen, Homeland Secretary, out of a restaurant. Seth Rogen celebrating that he refused to take a picture with Paul Ryan's kids. And then, obviously, what happened with Pam Bondi at a theater in Florida over the weekend. And then Sarah Huckabee Sanders, most notably, at this restaurant in Virginia. Dan Hannan, a former British MEP, writes in the Washington Examiner, the worst thing is not the mob, it's the cowardice that we display before the mob. And he essentially argues that the cowardice has been exacerbated by social media. The internet didn't create a problem, but since you can be a anonymous internet cowboy, it's exacerbating the cowardice and the mobocracy. Do you agree with that, share his concern?
Of course I do. I mean, it's amazing to me that all we've heard about is the authoritarian Trump, what an evil authoritarian Donald Trump is. And I keep saying to people, if you show me one thing that he has done that is authoritarian, where he has broken the norms of American governance, I will stand opposed to that action. But they can't cite anything where, meanwhile, when they don't get their way, they take to the streets and become mobs. I mean, we saw at Starbucks when two trespassers refused to purchase anything and then defied the police and were arrested. Suddenly, all of Starbucks had to shut down to take sensitivity training. Well, I would like the people at the Red Hen restaurant who threw Sarah Sanders out, I would like them to take some sensitivity training about how to treat people who disagree with you. I mean, this is showing the left. If Donald Trump is doing one thing better than anything else, it is showing us who the left is. They really are not at peace with American governance. They're really not at peace with being answerable to the people. They're not at peace with being answerable to the process. They only want what they want, and if they don't get it, they take to their media and they take to the streets and they start committing acts of violence and cruelty. And when I hear these guys, they can't even express an opinion without using the F word. They can't even express their point of view in a rational, measured way without cursing at people. And listen, I have hit Trump repeatedly for his rudeness and his bullying and his obstreperous way of talking. But who can blame him at this point when he is facing an entire movement full of bullies?
Maybe we
we just
need to lower our expectations of Ivy League English lit majors.
I think it would be nice if they taught them a couple of extra words besides the four-letter ones.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew Klavan, has anybody treated you differently because of your political standings?
Oh.
Well, I mean, I basically have been shut out of Hollywood in a lot of ways, and I get a lot of this stuff, and it's very difficult for me to work in my profession and actually get work anymore because I am so openly conservative and openly and express my opinions. The idea is this happens to me all the time. I will walk into a studio, I'll walk into some filmmakers, and somebody will come up to me and drop his voice and say, I agree with you, in a whisper. And I always say the same thing. Why are we whispering? We are right. We are in the right. We are standing up for the American traditions and the Constitution. I'm not going to whisper it, but yes, you pay a price for it. I mean, there are a lot of people in this town who come up to me, mostly guys in lower-level positions like waiters and drivers who turn around and recognize me and tell me that they agree with me. But this is a town where if you speak up, you pay a price.
Well, that's the thing. It's not only that we're right, it's that even if you don't think we're right, why should we whisper? We wouldn't expect you to whisper. We just
right.
state it straight away.
Not only do we not expect them to whisper, they feel that they have a right to tell us what words we can use, how we can look at things, how we feel about things, and that to say what we say is somehow inherently rude and unkind and racist. And they don't understand they've been insulting us for years, calling us racist, calling men pigs. And when we snap back and send a guy like Trump to send these messages back to them, they suddenly feel that they're not being treated right. Well, they're being treated exactly the way they've treated other people for a long, long time.
He is Hollywood screenwriter Andrew Klavan of such great books and films like True Crime. Essayist, also the author of a book you should pick up, The Great Good Thing, A Secular Jew Comes to Faith in Christ. Andrew, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
And you joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply. Texting enrolls for recurring text messages.
Nice game. Man, you're really playing hard today.
Yeah, shows what a great night's sleep will do. Since I started using Z-Quiet for my snoring, there's no more waking up getting elbowed. And no more moving to the couch in the middle of the night. For the first time in years, the snoring's gone. And my wife and I both wake up feeling great. It's amazing, so easy to use, and it worked the very first night.
I'm Dan Webster, co-founder of Z-Quiet. For years, I was off my game due to snoring. My wife Trina and I were desperate for a solution, and we found it with Z-Quiet. There's nothing better than waking up feeling rested, happy, and best of all, in the same bed. So if you're ready to score extra points in the bedroom, get Z-Quiet.
Z-Quiet fits both men and women, and right now you can try it risk-free for a full 30 days for just $9.95. Just text SLEEP to 246810 or go to getzquiet.com. Text SLEEP to 246810 or go to getzquiet.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. I don't think Plato had former CIA Director General Michael Hayden's tweet comparing Trump immigration policy to the Birkenau death camp at Auschwitz in mind when he conceived of the Noble Lie. Nor would Plato likely place under the Noble Lie header the D.C. Press Corps' magical storytelling about a 2-year-old Time magazine cover girl who was separated from her father in Honduras by her mother, but never separated from her mother by Border Patrol or anyone named Trump, not even Peter Fonda's nemesis Barron. The lies told by elites these days are intended to foment social unrest, not cohesion. The ignoble truth is that today's elites cover their tracks by feeding the public supersized whoppers to stunt their appetites for edifying information and dull their attention spans. Never mind that the fix was in at FBI. See Trump's criticism of Comey as a veiled predicate to martial law. Never mind that family separation was not new policy at the border and that only the enforcement of it was new. Instead, understand this as an existential battle not for border security, but against bigotry. In other news, Paul Manafort has pled guilty to a violent crime for which he was not charged. ABC News reports.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
That's Dot. She's here to greet me after a long day. She's the only one who wants to be near me when I'm sick. She's my best friend. Thanks to folks like South Suburban Humane Society, Dot went from living on the street to a dog that wears clothes. Yep, I'm that guy. So how did I get so lucky? Before I met Dot, I spent time at South Suburban. Giving to a nonprofit isn't always about giving money or donating food and supplies, although that's appreciated too. South Suburban Pets just want your love. We encourage you to come by the facility, take a dog for a walk, play with Dot's cat friends, or even foster a pet to keep your flexibility. If you're interested in how you can volunteer or donate, visit them at southsuburbanhumane.org. That's right, Dot. South Suburban is a 501c3, which means all donations are tax deductible for individuals and businesses. Text DONATE to 708-866-0065 or visit southsuburbanhumane.org. South Suburban Humane Society, creating a better world for pets and their people.
The warmth of sun is here for you to enjoy the great outdoors. Feel like an instant getaway with a beach vibe and fun for the entire family? There's a place nearby you're going to want to check out. Bridges Waterside Grill and Bridge Inn in Michigan City, Indiana. Bridge Inn is the perfect place for your Lake Michigan escape. Amazing attractions like the Uptown Arts District, boutique shopping, beaches, the zoo, casino, and museums are all in walking distance. Bridge Inn offers year-round lodging, but you can take in the sunshine at the Bridges Waterside Grill through September. Grab a cocktail and dine on fish tacos, burgers, and wraps with lots of vegetarian and seafood options. Book one of 14 suites at Bridge Inn before summer sells out. Bridges is located near the rotating train bridge on the Trail Creek waterfront in the heart of Michigan City. Don't visit Michigan City without stopping by the Bridge Inn and Bridges Waterside Grill. For more info and availability, visit bridgeinnmc.com. That's bridgeinnmc.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. I was reading an article the other day that the average American homeowner has over $16,000 in high interest rate credit card debt. Every morning you wake up and you work so hard to get ahead, but by the end of the month you're just barely getting by. Then when things pop up like new tires, medical bills, school supplies, a laptop, it ends up on the credit cards. Well, the good news is if you're a homeowner, there's never been a better time to do a cash out refinance. Your home is going up in value quicker than it has over the last 10 years. And mortgage rates are still near these all-time low levels. Cash out loans are some of our favorites. Honestly, they really are, because those are the ones that make the greatest impact in a person's financial situation. Those are the loans where we're saving people $500, $1,000, even $2,000 a month. If you do have some credit cards, write them down. Get an idea of how high the balances are, how high the interest rates are, and then apply for a cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert, LLC, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
One of the least glamorous pieces of the puzzle in a construction or home improvement project is getting rid of the waste. It's definitely the last thing contractors or homeowners want to deal with, but it's a necessity. Getting affordable dumpster service quickly to a construction site can be difficult, but it doesn't have to be. For hassle-free dumpster service, contact Midwest Companies. They're focused on dumpster services that will help keep your project safe, clean, and on schedule. Midwest Companies takes care of contractors in need of a dumpster that's strong enough for heavy material and the homeowner doing a home improvement project, garage, basement foreclosure, or estate clean-out. For a company that's built a great reputation with local contractors and residents by providing fast, efficient dumpster service at a competitive price, consult with Midwest Companies for a no hidden fee quote. For new customers and a limited time, get $50 off your first service. Midwest Companies. Online at mwcompanies.com. mwcompanies.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Summer fun is back in Chicago this weekend before the 4th of July. Head over to the Lyle Eyes to the Skies, Lyle, home of Bennett Academy, to see 20 or more hot air balloons, go for a ride in a balloon, see skydivers and fireworks, a carnival, bands, our team from AM 560 The Answer, and more this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before the 4th. Get your tickets today and all the details at eyestotheskies.org.
When you were a kid, were you jealous because you grew up in Wheaton? Would you see the balloons in the sky and be like, I want to go play and I want to go on a ride?
No.
No? Never? Okay.
If you live in Wheaton, it's not possible to be envious of any other community.
Oh, that's right. Told you about my low Uber rating. Found out why it's so bad.
For assaulting Uber drivers.
Well, no, I didn't assault him. I saved him from oncoming traffic because he veered into the other lane.
Not his view.
And I had to grab him.
Yeah. Not his view of it.
I called Uber because I was very concerned about this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use Uber. I Uber my kids around. I have hardly been personally in a lot of Ubers. So it's Peyton and Eli's fault. Apparently, they're not behaving.
Oh,
So,
honestly, that's so disgusting. You're going to try and blame the kids. You're going to use the kids as a human shield.
It's their fault.
Oh, you're pathetic.
And the fact that I wasn't tipping. But I'm starting to tip more, and the number's gone back up. I'm in the 3s now.
I'm sorry, Peyton and Eli. I'm sorry you had to hear it.
Thanks for making us part of your morning. We're back here tomorrow at 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott.
Scottie Pippen wants his rep back. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.